Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. No. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it's still morning somewhere. Perhaps in Japan or somewhere pretty far east. Might still be before midnight okay, I'm wrong. No, it's late afternoon here on this Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, where I am not 25, I'm not even 35 or 45 or 55, where in about an hour and a half, I will turn 61 years old. And so this is Dave's Gone By. It's my show. We've been doing it since 2002 and thought we would do a kind of a special edition birthday Dave's Gone By, right? With all the usual kind of bells and whistles, the fun, crazy segments that we do, as well as messages from family and friends and all of that. However, it's just been a rather chaotic week in terms of things that I can't really talk about yet with family health concerns and stuff. But suffice to say that it wasn't until about an hour ago that we made even the decision to go on and do this special program, because usually Dave's Gone By airs on Saturday mornings from 9 until noon or thereabouts on this Facebook page. So that's what we have ordinarily been doing, but we've been running around and going back and forth the past couple of weeks with stuff we've been dealing with, so didn't do a show last time, and then we did a special show over the New Year's Eve thing. So it's been rather a chaotic month, and a chaotic month in terms of the programming and doing the show here on our regular times, because we did a New Year's Eve show on a Tuesday night. Here, we are live, Thursday afternoon, January 23rd, my birthday. So thank you, first of all, so much for everybody for sending me the good birthday wishes on Facebook. I've got more than 300 of them. And when I get a chance, I'll just do, sorry if it's just like the thumbs, heart, thank you, it's kind of, it's nice to see. Half the people who are sending these messages, I've never met, right? They know me through the show, or they know me as a theater kind of arts person, and they're theater arts people, so somehow we got on each other's Facebook feeds and things. So they wish me well, I wish them well on their birthday. It's nice. So thank you for all those folks who did happy birthday to me. I guess I could read some of them. The problem is if I open up Facebook, it will probably be, I'll start probably getting audio feedback and hearing myself through the open Facebook. So can't do that, but I can certainly do the show. And thank you everybody for writing in. So as I said, it's not what I hoped to do. I hoped for not like we would have rented a Wallman skating rink, which we wouldn't anyway because I can't skate to save my life, or some bowling alley, or some amazing museum galleria for the day. And we wouldn't have done that, but we would have had more guests. We would have had more things going on. But there has just been no time and no mental energy to put into that. However, I do have just barely enough time and barely enough mental energy to get through a show and to give you some of the segments that you do enjoy week after week here in the Daverhood. I will also have, let's see, what are we doing on this special birthday episode of Dave's Gone By? With me, by the way, Dave Lefkowitz. In case you didn't know, you tuned in, you didn't know my name. It's Dave Lefkowitz. The program is Dave's Gone By. It is our 975th episode of the show. And if you want to find out more about the program and watch older episodes, just go to davesgoneby.com and they're all there. So what are we going to do? We are going to have some of our regular things. I was hoping my darling and adorable wife would join us, and she may for a little bit, but she's dealing with some stuff, so she can't get on the air right now. But we will be doing Greeley Times, with stories that came from the Greeley Tribune, real-life stories of people who make desperate phone calls to the Greeley and Weld County Police Departments reporting something scary in their northern Colorado neighborhood. The funniest ones are, well, they're stripped of their identifiers and then published every week in the pages of the daily newspaper. I never thought about that. I never thought about someone who called the cops and said something ridiculous that they saw or some weird help that they needed. And then 3 weeks later, they're paging through the Greeley Tribune and they realize, wait a minute, I made that phone call. They're making fun of me. And I never occurred to me that someone might actually see their own phone call listed in the cop log column of the Greeley Tribune. I'm sure it's happened. But anywho, the whole idea is there's no, they don't editorialize, by the way. It's really just a police blotter, but they pick the funniest, most absurd, ridiculous calls that come in into this column they do called Cop Log, and then we share the funniest ones with you in something that we call Greeley Times. We'll also have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because my wife and I used to live in Greeley, Colorado, and while I was there, I got it into my mind to write poems, as many short poems as I could, about as many different places in Colorado as I could. They're limericks, 5-line, raunchy, terrible, evil, naughty poems. I've got more than 300 of them, so we do one every week, and today we go to Bowie, Colorado. Bowie, Colorado, there is a place, or was a place. We'll tell you a little bit about it, and then I will read a brand new, horrible, disgusting, shameful poem about Bowie, Colorado. Appropriate enough, too, since one of my very, very favorite songs in the universe is by David Bowie. It's Heroes. So can't play that because YouTube will ding me with copyright rules. But make believe that I'm playing the Bowie song Heroes while I'm reading the awful Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Bowie, Maryland. As a matter of fact, it's probably better when I'm reading the limerick. If you don't actually listen to my poem, if you actually hear Bowie in your head, much better experience, and you won't go, oh God. Instead, you'll just be humming along to the song. So we've got that coming up on Dave's Gone By. We will also go inside Broadway. Now, there's a segment we haven't done for a while. But we're able to bring it back because I was able to go to New York over the past couple of weeks. And I saw several Broadway shows and one or two off-Broadway shows. So I'm not going to review all of them on today because I'm going to space them out over a week or two. But yeah, I do have a couple of reviews of productions that I saw when I was back in New York for the first time since last July. I think it was. And I do have the playbills, and I did bring them over. So here's a bunch of the things that I got to see, and you'll be hearing about in the Daverhood on a segment that we call Inside Broadway. And then if I'm up to it, if I'm not feeling too stressed and chaotic and so forth, I may, I'm not promising, I may show you my bunions on a special birthday Bunion Watch on Dave's Gone By. Because, past couple of years, we've had a recurring segment called Bunion Watch, wherein, because I had started teaching again 2.5 years ago, my first week teaching, I had new sneakers that I thought I had broken in. Instead, they kind of broke me and gave me a painful scabbaroo right over my big toe, which is very close to my big toe bunion on my right foot. Or was it on my left? No, I think it was on my left. Either way. So I thought, I probably overshare everything on this program. Why not share with you, my beloved viewers, listeners, and friends, the shape, the color, the size of my beautiful bunions? So, yes, unless I forget, I will do a Bunion Watch on Dave's Gone By today. Special birth. I guess if I melted the wax and glued it to my foot, I could kind of even do a birthday candle birthday Bunion Watch, right? Except A, hot melty wax would make me scream, and not in a good way. And it's just probably kind of dangerous and stupid. Well, I don't mind the stupid part, but probably pretty dangerous to set a candle on fire on top of my foot. So I'm not going to do that in deference certainly to our West Coast viewers who are dealing with their own fires. And the last thing they want to see is anything with a lit match. Speaking of which, in terms of blowing out candles and birthdays, my official birthday moment. And one of the reasons I'm not doing this in the evening, and one of the reasons we didn't do a show last Saturday, and we won't be on this weekend because I'm doing the show now, is today, literally today, January 23rd, is my birthday, and my birth minute was 5:49 in the afternoon, Eastern Time. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have it here. I think I have. I won't share it on camera, but I can tell you about it. If my mail would load, that would be very nice. Let's see. I may just have it. Or perhaps not. Oh well, I thought I had it in my Gmail. Let's see if I have it here. And I do apologize, I just did not have the time or the energy or the impetus to be able to plan more of what I was going to do today on the show. So I appreciate your hanging with me and just following with whatever I do the best that I can do it. Oh, I'm probably better off trying to find it here. Hold on. Might be on my other computer. That could be it. Oh, hello. Wait. I had it. Oh, it'd help if I spelled it right. Certificate. Yes, Dave. All right, I'm going to give you the particulars of my meanness. Not meanness, my me-ness. So I've got this crumpled birth certificate of birth registration. It's literally barely readable. And the hilarious part is you can tell, and of course I reserved this for J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. It says male. There's no question in terms of my sex or my gender. Male. There we go. Born January 23rd, 1969. So I can make a 69 joke, but I'm just too tired to even do that. But know that I wish I were making. Let me get this. That's better. No, it's not better. Oh, this light kind of broke a little bit. There we go. It's just been a week. We'll point it this way, shall we? We shall. The hell with it. Good. Okay. January 23rd, 1969. Ladies and gentlemen, just a few months before men landed on the moon, right? About a year or so before those kids were shot in Kent State. 2.5 years before Watergate. Was Watergate 74? No, Ford came in 70. Anyway, that was my year. What else do I have on here? Brooklyn strong. Because I wasn't sure if I was born physically in a hospital in Brooklyn or Manhattan, but I was born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, back then called Kings County. I guess it still sort of is. To my dad and mom, my dad, Philip Lefkowitz, and he passed, I'm not even sure if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago at this point. I'll always remember his day that he passed because it was Cinco de Mayo, which doesn't mean anything to me being Jewish and not remotely Hispanic, but I'll always, when Cinco de Mayo rolls around, that's the day Dad left. So my father had me when he was 26 years old, and a court reporter for an insurance company back at that time. He was also in the Air Force Reserves, or maybe he went into them just after me. What am I looking for? I was just going to open something. I'm not sure what it was. Oh, well. If I think of it, I'll come back to it. And then my mom, her name is Brenda, and she was only, I swear to God, 21 when she had me, which meant she was basically 20 when she got married. Don't be making jokes. So yeah. And what else is on this thing here? Born, her birthplace was Connecticut. I knew that. Not that you need to know all these things, but the incredible thing, and the doctor's name is on here, Dr. Robert Schwartz from Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn. And my parents at that point were already living on Ocean Parkway, which is where my first home that I remember. So I don't know if they moved when I was pregnant or when I was when my mom was pregnant, or just it wouldn't have been after I was born. So or a year or two before I got pregnant, they got the apartment that they had in Brooklyn, which is where I lived until I was 12 years old. So this is all this marvelous information on my certificate of birth from the Bureau of Records and Statistics, the Department of Health of the City of New York. The one thing that isn't on my birth certificate is my name. This is the amazing part. It's got everything. It's got my dad's name. It's got that he was born in Brooklyn. It's got his job. Mom at that point was a housewife, right, and born in Connecticut and so forth. Doctor's name, the date. It has my last name. And yet, for whatever reason, and I think my parents knew, they were gonna name me David when I came out of male, because I don't think they did testing that time as to know beforehand whether you were gonna have a boy or a girl or an other. And sort of like, it comes out, the doctor goes, smacks it, and it's got a dingo, it's a boy. I think that's how it worked. But I'm assuming they had my name chosen for a male and maybe for a female too, and they knew they needed a D for a dead relative and a Neil for Naftali, which is for another. So they kind of have that ready, and yet on the birth certificate, I'm just blank Lefkowitz. But it's sort of like, my name is, please leave this space blank. This page intentionally left blank, Neil Lefkowitz. I don't know. I'm assuming that I've never had a problem using this birth certificate for proof of things, whether I needed a job somewhere, or I don't know, Social Security or a passport, or it's worked, right? Which is nice that they're not saying, you have to go back to January of 1964 down to the Bureau of Records, take your time travel machine back 60-something years and get your name properly put on that, because otherwise we don't know what Lefkowitz you are. There are a lot of Lefkowitzes out there, and this is true. I always thought it was such this special kind of Jewy name, not unbelievably rare and ridiculous, but pretty uncommon compared to Goldberg, Goodman, Goldstein, Friedman, Cohen, all of it. But no, you got Lefkowitz. There's David Lefkowitzes. There's a guy who has the website that I tried to get 10 years ago. Son of a bitch still has it. David Lefkowitz, I think, .com is not me. It's some musician guy. I wish him well, right? I contacted him and said, you want to give up your resume? No. So I've got davelefkowitz.org, and I'm happy to have that. And I think I've got davidlefkowitz.org and davelefkowitz.com. All of those I corralled. But my actual full name, davidlefkowitz.com, I believe, I keep telling you stuff that I could very quickly and easily look up. So let's see. davidlefkowitz.com. Let me tell you about this other guy on my birthday. It's the home of David S. Lefkowitz, who is not me. My old computer's loading very slowly. And by the way, David, change your picture. This has been the same picture on your website for 10 years now. You're looking good. You got the great Jewish Brillo hair. Looking and very impressive, man. You're a professor of composition at UCLA. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, the website literally has on its homepage, copyright 2014, site under construction. Okay, 11 years ago, you were working on this website, David Lefkowitz, and it hasn't changed. And you still have been renewing your domain. Good for you. But if you're not. So if you want to know more about me, if you go to davidlefkowitz.org, I do believe I pointed that one in the correct direction. That one goes right to, something else I've been dealing with over these last couple of really difficult and chaotic weeks, which is a redo of my website. We were talking about theater just a little bit before, and the fact that we're going to do Inside Broadway later in the show. So I founded 20-something years ago a theater website called TotalTheater.com, which was meant to be this compendium of theater reviews from all over the world, theater articles and essays. People, I would write reviews, and then all these people I know from like the Drama Desk and the American Theater Critics Association will also be writing reviews. And it would be this great compendium of, if you wanted to read a review of any show, playing in Chicago, playing in Atlanta, playing in Baltimore, playing in you could go on the site and read a well-written, clever, interesting, thoughtful review. And so I did this, thought it would be like a job, and that I could actually make money off it. But I kept it going as almost a glorified hobby project, and it wasn't that big a deal. The guy who set it up was actually a friend of the Daverhood, George Navrotis, coded the thing 20 years ago. He did a brilliant job, but of course, as the years go by, coding gets old, it's not updated, it's not this, it has to be redone, and so forth. So it ran a very long time the way it was. And he redid it about 10 years ago and upgraded it and made it better, and did a fabulous job. And then more recently, we've been having serious trouble with that website and another one. And it just had to do with malware and people hijacking the site, so that if you looked for a review, a criticism of a show on TotalTheater.com, and you Googled Total Theater in the name of the show, and you clicked on the Google result, and it may still be doing this, it brought you to like some porny dating website, nothing to do with me or with Total Theater or anything like that. So I knew something had to be done, and then spent about 2 weeks back and forth with, you should pardon the expression, Bluehost, the hosting service, with me telling them, the site was, there was malware on it, but the site itself was working until you guys cleaned it up, and now it's completely screwed up. Thank you very much. And what ultimately, because I don't have the time and I don't have the money to deal with really redoing the website properly, and the main thing is bringing in all the old reviews. I mean, we're talking about 8,000 something reviews that were posted over 20 something years on that website. And it was just like, you know what? Web designers can put together a very simple site for $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. Fine. But when they hear that you have all this content in another coded format that then has to be loaded, and they're charging $50, $70 an hour, no. Just sorry, no. So I apologize to all the writers who've had their work on Total Theater for all these years. And I'm hoping we'll get some of it back as time progresses. But I also knew I didn't want to kill the website. I also knew that I still want to write reviews sometimes. I do reviews on this program, but sometimes I want to write them, and I still want to keep the writers who write for Total Theater having a place to show their work, for them to be able to review theater, show the press agents that they're covering the theater, and so forth. So I took a few hours and just redid the site. Simple WordPress coding, and the site itself is, here it is, it's there. It's TotalTheater.com. Take a look. Take a look. It's got about 20 reviews on it so far. Clean, streamlined. You can tell It's fairly homemade, but I think it looks rather crisp and pretty nice considering what it is. And it doesn't require bells and whistles. There's no audio, there's no video, there's pictures to run with the shows. And so, been dealing with that and just happy and proud to say that TotalTheater.com is back in a small, a small-ish way. So you can still read the reviews of our friends, of people like Ann Siegel and David Sheward and Marie Kilker, and I'm hoping, oh my God, what is her name? McCall Jeffers. Phew, sorry. I've been brain farting all over the place. Apologies for that. But yeah, it's really, really kind of simple. You need to know to look for the little magnifying glass in the upper right to search for things. It isn't like a great big beautiful search box that you could easily necessarily look for what you're looking for. But for now, I'm thinking it's looking pretty nice, and at least it's back, right? I curse the hackers or malware people or whoever they are from this day till doomsday for what they've done, but for now, and lighter curses for Bluehost for making me spend extra money for things that were essentially useless anyway. It's been a fun time, but I'm having a fun time bringing Total Theater back and doing this program. Dave's gone by. You're watching live. It is not our usual time. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, live on this January 23rd, 2025, our 975th episode of the program. We're calling this Dave's 61st birthday Jamboree. Yeah, here's our Jamboree. Oh yeah, are you feeling it? So, as I said, it was going to be a whole different kind of kettle of fish and so much more going on. But this was so last minute impromptu, kind of just do it and get myself back on the air and doing what I love, that it's going to be me talking to you, doing a couple of segments. And hey, here's proof that we are, in fact, well, the proof that we're live, you're watching right now. But we did take a little moment, because we had to get out of the house for a bit, was going to the Hampton Estates. We thought we'd walk around a little bit, but it's just been too incredibly icy and cold. But if you can see, we were there. This is you get a little stamp pad if you visit. Star Spangled Banner, January 23rd, Hampton Estates in Maryland, and then Hampton National Historic Site, right, over in Towson, Maryland. Very happy, very proud. We basically thought we want to get out, we want to take a drive, maybe take a walk, and then we get to the historic site, which isn't very far from where we live, and we look and we see that there's still snow and ice everywhere, and it was morning, so it was still in the teens. And my wife and I look at each other and we're like, no, let's just go into the little house, maybe use the rest facilities, and then go back out. And we talked to a couple of really nice people there. And this guy was just, well, yes, if you take the tour. I'm like, we took the tour over the summer. But said, yes, if you come back and take the tour again. I'm like, all right, it was a slave I can tell him this. It's a slave plantation. Basically, it's all these rooms by this very rich guy named Ridgely in northern Baltimore, who got rich with the help of, or at least his house was made nice, with the help of all these servants, slaves, black slaves, who were treated like garbage. He was apparently one of the meanest. Remember earlier I said meanest and mean. No, this is meanest sons of bitches in terms of slave owners that you could imagine. He whipped the shit out of people. Okay? And to get this beautiful house that he has, and all these lands and property, and then you see what the slave quarters would look like, and you wouldn't put a horse in there, let alone a human being. So I'm like, once is enough to go see this historic, unhappy little site with lovely grounds, quite honestly. But we were just there and went in there, and we saw, in fact, the tour guide who took us around the last time we were there in summer. Really cool guy. And a guy who didn't pull punches. A guy who didn't want to make nice and say, yes, there were slaves here and these were the quarters and it was a different time. And no, I mean, he was the fella who really laid into the Ridgely guy and his family for the disgusting way that they treated human beings. So good for him. And it was good to see him again. But yep, this is my birthday. We're planning all sorts of things in terms of stuff we have to do for family and travel and emergency things. But I did get pasta. I did get a lovely pasta dish today for my businessman's lunch. Even on my birthday, I think Jewish. I mean, I could get a really expensive meal, but we don't really have the time and temperament right now to enjoy it. Oh, good. There's a local Italian restaurant that is a $10 businessman's lunch. Whew. Noodles, sauce, hot. I'm good. And it was really good, too. So thank you to Cuvino over near where we live. So that was really nice. And cupcakes. I got a couple of cupcakes today. They were good. One was a cookie dough buttercream cupcake. And I don't know if I like buttercream just because it tastes like buttercream, or I like it because it makes me think of that French chef on Nailed It who says buttercrème. And I just like the way he says it, buttercrème. Yes. Either way, yummy, yummy, yummy. So there are some bright spots on my birthday. Here's a bright spotlight for my birthday. And yeah, that's what it is here in the Daverhood today. And so, I also have to keep my eye on the clock here because 5:49 p.m., that's the other piece of information on, excuse me, the birth certificate that I was looking at before, the one that doesn't have my first name on it. It does have the moment that I popped out, the moment I became me, still maybe dangling from the umbilicus, but crying and squalling and complaining and probably breaking wind. 5:49 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, 61 years ago. So we're just over an hour, we're about an hour and 12 minutes away from the momentous, extraordinarily important moment when was born. Hence, the 61st birthday jamboree here on Dave's Gone By. Well, I mentioned that my wife and I have spent a bit of time over the past couple of weeks shuttling back and forth to New York. So, what's better than schlepping back and forth to Manhattan and along the East Coast than doing it in the middle of January? Has this not been the most awful month just in terms of weather that you can remember? I mean, we had a lovely autumn. We're here in Baltimore, northern Baltimore. And you figure Baltimore's going to be more temperate, a little rainier, a little less snowy, a little bit. But this, whatever storm fronts they've got and whatever pressure things and high pressure and low pressure, the day to day, this whole month of January. And January's always suck, right? Januaries are always, they're 31 days long, so that the month you have to get through. And unlike December, which is 31 days, December's got Christmas. December ends with New Year's Eve. December's not that far away from Thanksgiving. It's got, stuff. It's got stuff going on. If you're a professor, right, December is nice because you finish teaching in the first week or two in December. You have the rest of the month off, and then early January to look forward to, as opposed to January, where you start off not teaching, which is cool, but then by the end of the month is like, you're just readying everything because you're going back. And January just seems so relentlessly bleak and cold and snowy and ughy. You would figure December would be the worst because, of course, the shortest days of the year are December 20th, 21st, 22nd, the equinox. You figure we're furthest away from the sun right now. So the coldest, darkest day of the year ought to be a couple of days before Christmas. Why the hell it chose January like 21st to get down to 3 degrees, or 8 degrees? Or remember a week ago we had the winds that were going 40 miles an hour? So that even though it was up to 30 degrees, it felt like 3 degrees? Why isn't this happening in the middle of December? Why is this happening well after the days are getting longer? When we're getting inching a little closer to the sun, to the point where, back in December, 4:40 p.m. right now, it'd be almost dark by now. We have now another hour almost before it really is dark. And sundown, I think, is like 20 after 5. I don't get it. But this is what you get. And we had to schlep around New York in just dire, brutal cold weather. And then, of course, we had the snow last time. Let's see, what else can we tell about? One of the things, though, it reminded me how great New York can be. Because I was born in Brooklyn, as I mentioned, grew up on Long Island, and then from the time I was about 17 and going to college, commuted from Long Island to New York for a good chunk of my life. Right? Whether I was just going to the theater, whether I was going to the theater and had several jobs in Manhattan, 4, 5, sometimes 6 days a week, back and forth, seeing New York, Midtown, downtown. It was my home base. And if you're in New York never really leaves you. But it was like, oh, New York, oh, Penn Station, oh, the LIRR, oh, the subways, oh, this, oh, that, the crazy people, the crowds. New York is still a spectacular place to visit. Not sure I would want to live there. Not sure we can afford to live there, but New York, if you're there for a couple of days and nothing terrible happens to you, it's still maybe arguably, not arguably, the greatest city in the universe. I mean, just to the point when we were there about a week and a half ago, and I had a lot of time between like doing what I was doing and then having a matinee to go see a show, or it was in between or it was a matinee and evening show on a weekend. I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm not a Starbucks guy. I don't want to sit there, open up a laptop, and sit on one of those uncomfortable chairs in New York, especially in New York City Starbucks, and try and do something. It's not my preferred way of spending an hour and a half or two. So I'm like, what else am I going to do? New York. I can't see a show, and there's no show in the middle there. So you know what I'll do? I know a place somewhere I would like to set up a computer and work. The public library. I was in Midtown. Oh, look who's here. Ooh, we have a guest. We have a guest in the neighborhood. I'm hoping that, I'll get back to my New York story, but this is more important. It's someone on an iPhone whom I'm going to admit. Let's see, who's coming into the Daverhood to join us on my birthday jamboree this January 23rd, 2025. I'm guessing it might be my cousin, but we're gonna see in a moment or two. Let's see. They're joining. Oh, the suspense is building, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, by the way. I know I mentioned that, but it's worth mentioning again. And this is our 975th episode, excuse me, of the program. And I'm turning 61 years old in just over an hour from now. So I'm just going to make sure that, let's see what they got. Oh, I may have audio. Hello?
Hello.
Hey! Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome to the Daverhood a great good friend of, well, not just a friend, he's my cousin. This is my cousin Adam Glass, who, by the way, is rocking a beard now. I seriously am, man. How are you? You look great. How are you doing? Oh, no. Oh. Well, he was looking. That was my cousin, Adam. I'm hoping he will log back on, but I think he's probably calling in from work and sounded like he just got a really important phone call from the boss saying, "How dare you Zoom during your important work time? Shame on you." But I'm hoping he's going to come back and say hello, especially since again this was so last minute that I warned him. I said we might do the show, we might not. And I didn't tell him until an hour ago that yep, we're going to be on the air. So if you can call in, that would be wonderful. He looks good, right? He's trying again. Here we go. So we know it's going to be my cousin on his iPhone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, and
Howdy.
welcome back. Hello, how are you, Adam?
Recovering from norovirus.
Ah,
Why you were here?
what a year. Happy New Year to you, man. So,
Yeah, I listen. I told you my rules. Very simple. Vertical and above ground. So I'm good.
yeah, yeah. If you only knew what we're dealing with here right now in terms of that. But
Yeah. So
let's, yeah, we're not going to talk.
I know. So your birthday's now. Mine was a few days ago,
Oh,
and I
Mazel.
assure you, thank you. So yeah, and sporting the white beard because yes, it is.
But because you of the virus, or because you wanted to do something for your birthday? One.
No, I've actually had the beard for a while. It changes. Sometimes it's been thicker and heavier. I just narrowed it down and just clean.
Yeah, looking good. So,
Thank you.
when did you get the Noro? How did you get the Noro, and how was it?
Miserable. I actually got very lucky. I got it last week, and I just happened to have a day where I really didn't eat much of anything. So thankfully, the side effects, the nasty effects of it, were diminished.
Oh, that
And I went on a 72 plus hour basic fast because you know there was
anything
just
great would have come.
it was yeah it was I was like a goose. It comes in, it goes out. So
So,
so
were you diagnosed? Did you know, or you got to
well
you
so
tested
well
for?
so here's the funniest part.
Yeah.
So Wednesday it starts. Thursday was my annual physical. Suffice to say, the doctor opted to skip certain aspects of the physical.
Oh my God. Wait, how were you well enough to go with a physician? Well, I guess you would go with a doctor when you're sick. You might as well go, right?
So but again, since my system had been basically empty anyway, thankfully it was, as I said, the side effects were minimal. And I thankfully didn't suffer from, some people have to throw up as well. I did not.
Hmm.
So
Well,
grateful
everything
for,
came out one end, and there wasn't that much because you were, yeah.
and yeah, I kept things empty. Great way to lose weight, I'll tell you what. So I've dropped 10 pounds in a week. So there you go.
Wait, did you really 10 pounds?
10 pounds.
Whoa.
So I need to go back to the doctor so I can be reweighed and be less fat than I was.
Well, I mean, no, I would say congratulations. It's not the way to lose it, but
No, it's not. But I'll tell you what, it's one way to shrink your stomach and be very, very gentle with thyself because lots of things your stomach says, no, I don't like that anymore. I went, "Well, okay.
well,
So
has now that you're over it, right? Now you're healed, you're okay.
mostly, mostly over it.
So your stomach,
I'm over it enough to,
yeah.
yeah. So I went from nothing to being on the brat diet, which is basically bananas, rice, applesauce, and in this case, not even tea, which is normally toast, because it couldn't have toast because it irritates your intestines. It was relatively clear liquid, so I could have broth and
Oh.
you know and things like that.
Yeah, because when you said
Um,
brat diet, I was thinking they make you eat bratwurst. I can't imagine that would.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, it wouldn't because I would have enjoyed that. But so
yeah.
because I like a good Wurst, but no, I was on a very nominal diet, and then I was after 4 days, I was allowed to start having soft foods, eggs and things like that, and I started to eat some other things. I was being careful, but my intestines didn't like it. So the fact is, I'm keeping myself in the mid zone, and I just been eating less. And you know what? I feel okay. And
Yeah.
if it's not hurting me, I'm not hurting it. Therefore,
And are you? Do you think you'll keep off the weight? I mean, when you can go back to eating like I do, like a horse.
um, you know, I'm hopeful because I've noticed the nice difference in not having certain things. I'm hopeful that I'll manage to maintain staying off of them because they do nothing good for me, and I always pay for them on the other side. They just really enjoy them going down.
Well,
You
like
know,
I ask, what things are you hoping to give up, except maybe
um,
like what's really not been.
well, first of all, sweets, anything which I can have in overabundance because I have no sense of self-control whatsoever.
Hmm,
Um, uh, who are you and do I care? I don't care. Go away.
I don't care either. Get rid of them.
Well,
Have them.
I did.
Yeah. Send the weed
I,
back to them. Yeah.
I listen. As it is, they've exceeded my tolerance and my, and my medication levels. So, uh, the uh, the
Wait,
for me, mostly
dessert.
it's oh well, not only desserts, but it's I've always eaten too fast, therefore I always eat too much. So my portion control has always been at issue. And one of the nice things about not being able to eat a whole lot of things and not being able to eat a lot, it forces you to eat less. And so and listen, if I can't do it by general force of will, then intestines rule, and it says, if thou do it, I make you pay.
So there you go. Yeah.
I
Now,
and there it is.
so let me ask. I mean, we spent quite a bit of time on the condition of your bowels. How's the
Yes.
rest of you? How's life otherwise in the new year? Because we did talk to you on New Year's Eve. How have
Yeah,
things
you
been
did.
besides Noro?
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. I hate dropping bombshells. So unfortunately, very dear friend's wife passed away. So that very super cold day you talked about, the Monday,
Yeah, yeah.
I was at a cemetery. So there we go. And she's younger than we are. She was younger than we are. And God bless the family because they went through hell for a few years. And other than that, other people are healthy. And you know what? I'm capable of going to work. So it doesn't matter how cold it is. I'm still out working and I can. So I'm grateful for the things I can be grateful for.
You
You
know,
know,
how are your folks? And forgive me if
it's okay. So dad, as you may remember, passed in September.
yeah,
Mom is, for an octogenarian and up there, she's doing pretty well.
liquid.
You know, I mean, she's not dancing as fast as she used to, but
Uh,
she's still got just as much attitude as she used to.
don't we all? Don't. And how's your daughter? What is her name again?
Piper.
Right. How's
Piper. She has just started her second semester of law school. And yeah, listen,
yeah.
somebody's got to have the schmaltz because we know it wasn't me. And and she's, God bless her, she's enjoying it.
Good.
She likes the challenge and she's taken to it like a duck to water. And
Does she
what's
know
the
what
complaint?
kind of? Does she want to be a defense attorney, torts, prosecuting, contracts?
She's very good at torts, which of course vexed her because she has absolutely no interest in going anywhere near it. She would never wants to go into a courtroom if she could manage to avoid it. She thinks she'd be more on the corporate side and any other side having other than standing in front of a judge and deciding to try to defend someone for good or for ill.
So she doesn't
Oh,
want. She
even
wants to
well, she
do.
loves to argue.
Oh, yeah,
Discuss with enthusiasm.
yeah.
But yes,
Spoken like a dad. Absolutely. All right. Okay. Well, that's some good news because
oh yeah,
again, condolences on, of course,
thank
your
you.
your dad.
Yeah,
So yeah. And what else? What else? What else can we talk about? Let's some decent happiness.
happiness. You
Yeah.
know, um, it's funny. I found that when we were much younger, things were there were big things, right? Big exciting things that were interesting and we missed. I think we didn't appreciate a lot of the little things. Uh, um, and certainly we didn't have the sense to look back on things nostalgically at the time.
Well,
But things like thinking about Thanksgiving when we were kids, and the simplicity of it, right? Everything was dull and dingy and gray and whatever. And you had Thanksgiving, and you had football games on one set of channels, and you had monster movies on another channels, and you had March of the Wooden Soldiers on another channel, and everything was great. Yes, right. And you were fighting back and forth because then you had to just 2 minutes before noon, you had to go to the parade and see Santa go in front of Macy's window because that was the official start of Christmas. Why did that matter to us as Jews? Because the next day, all of a sudden the entire world turned red and green and gold, and it was beautiful again because people would come into work and decorate overnight. And all of a sudden, all those dingy things where you saw nothing of Christmas, all of a sudden there was this magical time. And as a kid, that was wonderful. It was like, wow, someone actually put in the effort to do these amazing things. And I remember that because it's all become so commercialized, you miss that nostalgia where there was a clear delineation between it's not that time, it's this time, and now, and I think we lost a lot of that. And so I think back on those little things
Yeah.
and remember that. And then just again, each day kind of becomes the blessing because it's easy enough to say, I'm carrying a backpack that weighs about 45 pounds with tools and a computer and everything else in it. And that's one of the reasons I'm not 6'4" because my spinal compression. And but the fact is, but I can, and I'm grateful for the fact that I can. I remember my father would talk about every time he was feeling down about stuff, and then he would pass some poor soul on the street whose life was clearly, he would on our worst day, they would beg for our day. And he'd say, I look at that poor soul and I take my troubles and I stick them in my pocket and I keep on walking because I can. So each time I'm feeling a little oppressed, depressed, or repressed, or some kind of fresh, it's but I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for family. Exactly. And
there's a saying that my wife's family used to have, and it was just sort of like if you took a room full of people,
mm-hmm.
took all their troubles, and they wrote their troubles down, put them in a hat, you would
Yes.
pull out your own in a weird kind of a way. 90%.
Yeah.
You would want, you know what? I'll take mine. I don't know if that would be there's probably 10% of the population who would go, no, anybody else's. Not this one.
Yeah, that's, but that really is the truth, isn't it? I mean, when it's so easy to lose sight of those things that we have to be grateful for. Listen, people who haven't been able to have children, people whose children, or God forbid, have gone through hell and are causing hell in the family. My daughter has been a blessing to me, and she is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And our arguments, our disagreements, and our everything else is, thank God she's healthy enough, well enough, smart enough, and straight in the head enough, right? And to that we can have them.
Oh well, yeah.
Right. And so, but as opposed to so many,
22 years old going, Daddy, my diaper.
Well. Or those who I've known enough parents who have kids my age where they don't really talk. They don't. There's been this separation, this wedge that's gone between them, and I've been very fortunate that way, that I haven't really suffered that with her. And there are moments, but it's always come back, and I'm deeply grateful for that.
I love that. She despises you, but she still talks to you, which is the most important thing.
Exactly. She looks at the pictures and goes, really? He had to be my father? But, it's like, you didn't even, she looks at me and goes, you didn't even give me the height.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, women don't care. How tall is she?
Oh, yes, she does. Because when she was 2, and yes, she remembers, the doctor said, because they usually take your height at 2 years and they double it, and that's approximately going to be your height.
Right.
Well, she was just about 3 feet tall. She was expecting to be a 6-footer. Well, she stopped at 5, 6.5, and she's pissed.
Most girls, they don't want to be 6 foot. That's interesting. She might have been prime for it, but a 6 foot girl has all. Yeah. I used to have, a student who wished that she wasn't.
Sure.
Up to there.
Absolutely.
I wish I were 5'6". Tell her she should pass me on the street, look at me, and go, oh. I should have got my blessing. I got inches on this idiot. Yeah. Seriously. Hey, before I let you go, how are your brothers?
Yes. Jordan and Evan, thankfully, are doing well. busy off, God doing knows what. Um, Thankfully, Evan's kids are also well and healthy, or relatively speaking, and you know, marriage and marriage and marriage, and listen, I'm grateful for that. Like I said, relatively, everybody's healthy. We are at the age when you say everybody's healthy, say it's a relative thing, but we'll take the relative. Thank you very much.
Yes, no
You
kidding.
know,
I mean, you must know that, towards the end of last year, I lost my cousin, who was,
yes, I remember it was horrible, terrible, terrible, terrible.
and not that we're going to even go into this
No, no.
on camera, but his wife, 3 weeks later.
Yes, I remember you mentioned. I saw the side note. It was like that's and it's so traumatizing, and so there are no words to give levels of or to encompass the magnitude of that. It's
I
just
know it's just both of it was mind blowing, but one because my cousin was like maybe 57, 58, and
right.
seemingly perfect, healthy. Well, apparently was not, but seemingly and then suddenly, you know, no longer there. And then, of
Yeah,
course, to have the following thing of a woman with two children, one of whom is still a teenager, take that option is I'm not saying what I'm not probably shouldn't.
it's okay.
Yeah, but
It's
it's like,
it's it's
yeah.
it's devastating, and you look at those things and you go, like I said, take my troubles, I'll stick them in my pocket and keep on walking because thank God I can.
I mean, I told my wife, if I die, are you gonna? Yeah, and she's like, she handed me the gun and said, yeah, "Go ahead." No, she did not.
But
No,
boom.
she did not. Oh,
You were invoking a little Rodney Dangerfield there.
well, just a little bit. I don't get no respect. No respect at
My
all.
girlfriend said, "Come on over." Nobody's home. I went on over. Nobody was home.
By the way, this is the last thing. So let's end on something kind of happy.
Of
Another
course.
happy memory that we probably have talked about on here, and in fact, courtesy of you, many years ago, I had Dr. Dirty as a guest on this program. One of the things that we bonded over when we were
Yes.
young teenagers,
Yes.
if not younger, was
Dr. Demento and Dr. Dirty.
well, yeah, I love Dr. Demento, but you
Yes.
introduced me to Dr. Dirty,
Dr. Dirty. Yes.
John
I
Val,
brought I brought I brought over that tape, John Valby.
and you
Yeah.
want to tell the viewers what his thing? He's still alive. He's still, yeah.
Yeah. So John Valby would take anything that might be clean and nice and sweet and make it dirty and filthy and hysterically raunchily funny, and not fit for anything but bar time post 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Post 2 in the morning.
Post okay, post 2 in the morning. I'm well, it's a new century, right? I mean, in our time it was only post 2 in the morning, and and I don't remember any of them well enough, but when you think about Big S, Little, and Yukon Pete, which I will not quote, but I do remember I had in high school, I had an essay we had to write, and I couldn't think of anything. I wrote that one out.
You literally wrote the lyrics out,
I wrote the entire thing.
and you got a what on that paper?
Well, I passed. I think he was too stunned to fail me.
He was like, if you have the guts to do this, and you're mature enough to know what these words mean, I
Yeah.
guess I can give you a C plus
I yeah, I skated by on that one because I drew a blank and I said, and of course, why would that shoot into my head? Why not? It's as
I
good
know.
as Dr. Seuss on, having a really bad day.
Or knock knock,
Yeah, who's there?
Tijuana.
Oh God, Tijuana. All
Tijuana,
right, do you want to go to a
bang, 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 don't you do? Yeah, that was one of the, that's the one I
That's right, I forgot.
yeah.
And I wish all the girls were like telephone poles and just
That one. I gotta
I'd
look.
be a squirrel and stuff nuts in their holes and it goes down there,
Okay, that's well it should. I don't know
yeah, well,
the telephone pole one. Thank you for sharing that. Reminding me.
well, it was one of the cleaner ones, which should give everybody who's listening an idea of just how foul it will go.
Because Dr. Demento wasn't found. Yeah, I didn't remember that we bonded over Dr. D. Were you
We
with us?
did. We did. I do
Yeah.
remember that. And I remember coming over to your home, and
Mhm.
then you started playing me a record, My Name is Larry,
Oh, yes. Wildman Fisher. Yes.
Wildman Fisher.
Oh, and was that mind blowing? Was that not the most important song ever in the history of recorded music?
It did give me an even greater appreciation for managing to be on key. Because he actually found a note by accident here and there, but otherwise,
Oh my God! Wow, good time. Good. So this is what it's all about. It's about,
yeah.
as you say, counting the blessings and all that, and also remembering the good times, the happy times. And
Oh
it is
yeah.
good times and happy times to be here with my beloved cousin Adam Glass. So thank you very, very much for zooming in on my 60. Are you going to do like a happy
And a,
birthday song?
and a very, very happy birthday to you and many, many more. And stay well. And my love to your wife, please, and to your mom.
Yeah, thank you, and to her mom and et cetera.
Yeah, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, of course.
So, mwah, I don't do kisses. I don't really do.
Yeah, big hug.
Next time I see you in person, I will fuck you really hard in the ass if that's okay by you.
You always promise and you never deliver. You're such a tease.
I'm only 5'2". There's not much to do.
We'll get you a step stool.
Deal. Thank you, Adam Glass. Happy New Year to you
Be
again.
well, my brother. Be well. Bye bye.
Okay, Adam Glass in the Daverhood, my actual real life cousin. So great to see him, and he's been on the show several times. And I should have him as our announcer too, because he just has that really good voice and presence. But I will announce to you that it's a little bit after 5 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time in the neighborhood. We're doing our 975th episode of the program. We are calling it Dave's 61st birthday jamboree because I am turning 61 years old. Yes, I technically turned 61 as of midnight this past day, but on my birth certificate, the time I was born was 5:49 in the afternoon. I was thought I was born in the morning or something, but it's actually a PM thing. So the birth certificate, which does not list my first name, does list the hospital and the city I was born in, Brooklyn Jewish. 5:49 in the afternoon, I came into this world. And by gosh, to quote the Sondheim song, I'm still here, for whatever reason, here doing this show. Dave's gone by for you. So at 5:49 p.m., I'm not sure what I'm physically going to, probably not much. Again, as I've been saying all through the show, this was supposed to be a very different kind of episode with lots of friends and family zooming in and saying hi and stuff. It was just not a feasible thing to do with some things that are going on at the moment in my life and my wife's life as well. Let me see if I can get Facebook on here and in a way that will not echo and cause feedback and so forth. Let me see if I can do that. It's probably not a great idea. Facebook. Let's see. See if I'm automatically logged in. That would make life easier. Oh, I think I am. So let me see if I can say thank you to a bunch of the people who were kind enough to write me birthday things. Happy birthday, Dave, says Mark. Thank you. Like, happy birthday. I can do this for another half hour. 300 and something people. Thank you, guys. Happy birthday, Dave, from Rich. Happy birthday, Dave, from Rich twice. He thought of me twice. I am so memorable. He wished me happy birthday, and then 5 minutes later, he wished me happy birthday again. Thank you to Chuck. I'm live now. I'm literally watching myself being live. Let's see, who else? Oh, wait, usually they have a list of like Seymour. Seymour. My name's not Seymour. Let's see, who else? Seymour? Yes, okay, more comments. Thank you. Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. Happy birthday. A lot of people just saying happy birthday, Dave. Thank you to Jeffrey. Thank you to Paul. Happy birthday, cousin Dave. And that was from Adam, who we just saw. Thank you, Howard. Thank you to Jean. I could do last names here, but to Michael and to Molly. Everybody's writing the same exact thing. Let's see. Oh, thank you to June, who gave me like this cute little girl thing pumping erotically at some sort of streamer object. I don't know. All right, I'm down with it. Anyway, thank you to June for the birthday. Oh, and Claudia from my old high school. Thank you so much, Claudia. Let's see. This could go on for a while, but I hope you don't mind. To Shanaine, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. To Craig, all these people saying happy. They're doing the auto birthday things with that Facebook does with just the words and a couple of pictures. But thank you to Dorothy. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. And to Sam. And to, listen, the phone loads only 2 comments at a time. Michelle. Oh, and Richard Shore. Richard did apologize, by the way. Richard was supposed to be on our New Year's program. Richard was someone I knew at the University of Northern Colorado, and he and I collaborated with Rabbi Saul Solomon on Saul's show Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Saul, and he actually played the piano for the production when it was off Broadway and when we were doing some other things with it. So Richard was supposed to say hi on the New Year's program, but he fell asleep. So he apologized profusely, but he remembered to wish me happy birthday. Happy birthday, thank you, from Tom and from Jamie and from, who else? Oh, from Brian Gary, who was on our birthday program. Do get Brian Gary's latest CD. I don't have the title on the top of my head, but Brian Gary is the grandson of Eddie Cantor. Really, honest to God, Eddie Cantor. And he is a singer-songwriter in his own right and an instrumentalist. So, yay to Brian Gary. Check out his website and get his CDs. It's Gari. And to Stevie Holland, another friend of the Daverhood, a cabaret songstress, if you will. Thank you to Glenn. Thank you to Reggie. Thank you. Let's see, who else can I thank? These are just people who wish me happy birthday on Facebook. To Glory, hallelujah. She wished me happy birthday. To Blair, thank you very much. And to Christine, Christine from Florida, a critic that I've known for something like 30 years. That's very sweet. Thank you, Christine. And to Sean, wishing me a big happy. Who else? From Blake and from Jeff. Geoff, Jeff, as opposed to the other kinds of Jeff. Who else? Oh no, I lost it. Don't lose it. From Chima and from Laura. Ooh, I tried to like that one. Trying to like that one. There we go. Oh no, I don't want to comment. I want to just go back to where it was. Did I? Oh, good. At least it brings me back where I was. I'll do this a little bit more till we get to some other stuff to do on the program. To Lois and Terry. Terry says, happy birthday, Dave. Hope it's magical. Well, when you have a lot of friends and even people, well, I don't know Terry, but friends and acquaintances and people I don't even really know wishing me a happy, it's very, very nice. So thank you to Josh and to Julia and to, who else? Charisse. What a great name. Charisse and Lane. Wishing me a very happy birthday. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, Charisse took the time to write and many more. A lot of people are just saying happy birthday, but that's very happy birthday from Ethel. Happy birthday from Terry. Come on, Terry. There we go. And yes, I am only 33, 43, a little over half an hour away from turning 61 years old. Michelle, thank you very much. And Amy, what a name, Amy Beth. Pretty long name there for the rest of her. Oh my God, thank you very much. From one of my oldest friends, Lynn, who went to elementary school with me. So great to literally known her 55 years. Thank you to Curtis. Let's see who else. Come on, let's see some more. To Annie, Annie Corzin. She was on our New Year's special. Annie, you might have seen her in a recurring small role on Seinfeld, and then she's kind of gone viral with some of the Instagram video things that she's done. So yay to Annie. Thank you for the birthday wishes from Kelly, who is an off-Broadway actress that I should have probably had on the program a long time ago. I need to contact her. Thank you to Bobby. Thank you to Jill. I believe Jill is someone else from my elementary school, but I could be wrong. You get to my age, you say, did I know them from high school, junior high, elementary school, or just the post office? Thank you to Dylan, and thank you to Landon, who took the time to give me a nice little crazy birthday girl, happy, also with the sparklers and the streamers. So, see, I know people who are on Blue Sky. Everybody's flipped to Blue Sky because they hate Elon Musk, they don't like Facebook, they hate Trump, blah, blah, blah. So, but does Blue Sky have, crazy zany women doing this? I wonder. Let's see. Asa, thank you so much to Asa. Thank you so much to Rosemarie. Not the Dick Van Dyke Rosemarie, obviously. She's been dead many years, nor did I know her. But thank you to Rosemarie for the birthday wishes. Thank you to Suzanne. Thank you to Wendy. Come on, I'm trying to do a like as I'm doing these. I hope some of these people are watching so they know when their name comes up. I got a Robert. Oh, Robert gives me an HBD. Well, TYVM to Robert. And to Jim, thank you very much. All these happy birthday Dave messages on this Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Thank you to Edmund. Thank you to Chris. Oh, now they find the crazy guy with, again, streamers and sparklers and his special cake. And as I mentioned, after lunch, we did go and I got myself a couple of special cupcakes for celebrating my birthday. So yay, absolutely germane that he's holding a cupcake with a candle in it. Let's see. Thank you to Sunny, and thank you to, Phil Chaffin. That's very nice. Thank you, Phil. Phil is a cabaret singer. He has been on, come on. There. This isn't loading fast enough for me to do what I need to do here. Thank you to Philip Chaffin again. You can get some of his CDs where he's singing songs from the Great American Songbook. Rose and Nicola, thank you very, very much for your birthday wishes. Who else is there? I'll do a couple more of these because I know it's probably getting boring for you, but I like seeing this. Happy birthday from Monica Lee. And, I showed her last name. Whoops. Happy birthday from Karen. Thank you also for that. I'm also hoping to find some folks who wrote more personal messages that I could read, but it's even great just getting these things from people like Stu and from Molly and from Come on, let's see some more. Henry and Marilyn and come on, we can do it. If it's not going to get any more interesting than this, I will stop in a minute or two. It is like popcorn. This is that whole scrolling thing that people can't stop. I just want to see one more name, one more birthday wish from people like Ned and Joshua, another Joshua, and still not my cousin Joshua. I'm hoping he will chime in also. And by the way, I got to thank very, very much, since we're doing this, thank you to my mom, who sent me this birthday card, and we'll actually be hearing from her on the program in just a little bit. And then my Aunt Bonnie sent birthday card, and this is from my darling and adorable wife. So she knows I like the big floppy wavy guys in front of, car dealers and laundromats and things. Let's see. Oh, no, don't go away, phone. Happy birthday to me from, who else? Ben Hodges, who was on this program talking about theater, and to Roy, whose nickname is Booby. He doesn't seem to use that nickname anymore, but he says, Dave, and with all these musical notes, happy life, enjoy it. Thank you to Roy. Who else? Kurt and Joey. All right. Remember, I have about 300 of these in total. I just wish it would load more than 2 every time I pull this. Thank you to a different Karen, who apparently has my last name or married into my last name. So thank you so much, and thank you to Jim, and thank you to who else? Who else? Come on, come on. I need more. I need more. Jim, a different Jim, a couple of different Jims, Jim K and Jim H. And then from Myrna. Oh my God, Myrna, a theater critic friend of mine. Happy birthday, Dave. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I'm certainly having a wonderful time doing this program. It's been a rather tough time for various reasons, but certainly this is putting a much brighter shine on the day. Oh, thank you so much to Megan. Megan is an actor. I haven't had her on the show either, but she's an actress who's kind of based in Colorado. She used to do some shows, and maybe still is, at the university there where I was teaching. So thank you so much to Megan. Thank you to David R., who was, I'm pretty sure, from my high school and not my elementary school, but one of the two. So thank you to David. Oh, so good to hear from him, to hear from Marissa and from Matt. Come on, Matt. Thank you very much. Doing a couple. I know. You want me to get on with other things in the show, but it's my birthday. You know, my choice. Paul says, happy birthday, Dave. Oh, and I mentioned Ann Siegel before, theater critic from Wisconsin, who has been writing for Total Theater for many, many years. So we're thrilled, and she's a good friend. She actually wrote a message. Here we go. Enjoy your birthday, sending warm wishes on a chilly day. Always enjoy working with you, and perhaps we'll connect in person later this year. Hope so, Anne. And she's a good writer, too. So I think I have one review of hers on the newly redone Total Theater site. She had a bunch on the old one. I'll try and get some of the older ones up if I can over the next couple of months. But hoping to get certainly more of her writing on the new version of TotalTheater.com. Thank you for the birthday wishes from Becca Kidwell. She is a cabaret singer who was on the show about a year or two ago. And to Rusty. Yeah, this guy's named Rusty still. What was it? What's the old George Carlin line? Ever notice there are no Chinese guys named Rusty? I know, I find that amusing. Thank you to Pamela. Oh, and my cousin Mark. Yay, thank you, cousin Mark. I would say he's calling all the way from the coast, but I think he moved permanently east side to Manhattan. So actually, I hope to see him sometime on one of these trips. Thank you to Howard, who wrote, wishing you a wonderful day, and to Steve Kaplan. Now, Steve Kaplan is one of the founders of the off-Broadway theater company Manhattan Punchline, which has been gone for a few years, but Steve teaches comedy writing. It's even sort of an online thing. So if you're interested, look for like Kaplan Comedy or Steve Kaplan Comedy, and maybe take his course and finish that screenplay or that television show or that play, because he's certainly an expert in what makes comedy tick. Thank you to Tony, who gave me a cake. There you go. Thank you. Tony, if I knew you were coming, I would have brought somebody who cut the cake. And to B Harlan. Okay, he goes that way. He's a press rep and a publicist for some fairly famous people. So thank you to B Harlan and to Michael and to Karen Ham, who says, happy birthday, Dave. She also gives me the woman shooting the thing with this. Yeah, whatever. What's with the eyes on this chick? What's going on there? She's kind of like Arnold Stang with a lesbian cut. Here we go. What else we got? Come on. Oh, Paula. Thank you so much to Paula and to Alan. And that's the other problem with Facebook. The more you scroll on the same thing, the longer it takes to load and load. So this is going to become, unfortunately, almost more trouble than it's worth to do this on the show. I'm going to try and look at all of them after the show's over. But to Denise and to Lisa, thank you ever so much for the birthday wishes. Come on. One more, and then I promise I'll stop and we'll do something else. I promise. There we go. Samuel Whitehill I'll use the names of people who've actually been on the program. Samuel is an actor, and I think he was playing a rabbi in some off-Broadway show when he was on the program a couple of years ago. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes to Samuel and to Eric. Thank you for your kind birthday wishes. One more. Okay. One more feed, one more load, just one more. You know, as I'm still scrolling at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? To John and to, oh, this is interesting. This is very, very nice, I think. I probably can't run it because of copyright issues, but Mark sent me this, a Kevin Bacon birthday smash up. Don't even know. I guess I am now 1 degree from Kevin Bacon, probably 2, because I got this through Mark. So Mark is 1 degree from Kevin Bacon. I am 1 degree from Mark Miller, and therefore I am 2 degrees only from Kevin Bacon. And yes, this does give me the opportunity to do a couple more. Thank you to Woody. Thank you to Greg. Believe me, Greg, this is the whole friggin' show. It's not. I promise you it's not. What else we have? 2 more. I'm stopping. I am stopping. No more. Not one. Casey. That's very nice. Casey, a fellow who I think still runs, or certainly was running, the Off-Broadway Theater Company primary stages. So thank you very, very much for your birthday wishes. And thank you also to Jeff. A lot of different Jeffs. This one's a Jeff. So thank you, Jeff. Come on, we go. And Patrika. I have no idea who that is, but thank you to Patrika, not Patricia, Patrika, and to Tim. Okay, so maybe I'll do more towards the end of the show, but I think we're basically good. I think we can move on to something else for now. As a matter of fact, before I forget, and as my birthday is coming up in only 20 more minutes, it'll be 5:49, my moment of birth, and thank you, by the way, to Krista and to Noel. I'll just keep these going on the side a little bit and mention them as I can. Yes, I gave Noel a thumbs up. So, before, not that I would ever forget, but one of the good parts of having to go back to New York a week or 2 ago was to be able to see some family and to see my wonderful Aunt Bonnie and also to see my mom, Brenda. I mentioned her. She's on my birth certificate, which is, would have been a shock if she weren't. Would have been a real shock if I paged open the birth certificate and I realized, whoa, okay, so I'm Esther Roll's son? Unexpected. But no, it's my mom. So mom was kind enough to co-tape with me a Zoom birthday wish, which is really, really cool. She doesn't like to get on camera, but she didn't mind doing the voice. She would usually be on the phone, but since I was physically there, I opened the Zoom window and, we had a little tete-a-tete for just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to play that in a moment after I tell you that thank you, happy B-Day to you, from Judith and David. That's very nice. And thank you to Roger for his good wishes. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Enough of that. Here we go. I'm going to share my desktop. And I should probably bring down all these other things that I have on my desktop. Just kill that, just kill that, just kill that, just kill that. And I should have loaded this up earlier. There's my Zoom workplace. You can probably see that. You can see me, and you can see my iTunes. I didn't even play our opening theme music. Now, where is it? Somewhere on here is a conversation with my mom. Is it here? I would have moved it. No, not necessarily here. I would have moved it here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it the smartest possible way. And the way that I would like it feeds its way into an advertisement. I'm going to go to my website, davesgoneby.com. davesgoneby.com. And it's going to open up. And then I'm going to find, because I already posted it, because we recorded it, there's me with a frog. Oh, I didn't even talk about the New Jersey rest stop frog, which I love. But no, I'm going to go a little higher into the page and look for my mother. Come on, load it up, you can do it. Voila, brand new, spanking new, and I am screenshotting. I hope I'm sharing the right screen for you guys to see this, because I just still see myself in the upper right, but I think you're seeing my screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado or a don't, the woman who has known me longer than any other woman in the universe, and I've known her more intimately in a way even than her husband did, because I was kicking around inside her for about 9 months. Won't you please welcome to the Daverhood my mom? What's this with annotate? I don't want to annotate, I want to play it. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Well, here we are on my 61st birthday episode of the show, and can't do a birthday show without the woman who pushed me out of her birth canal. Don't even know. Ladies and gentlemen, the person next to me, she won't go physically on camera, but you will hear her. She is my mom. She is Brenda Lefkowitz. Hello, Mom.
Hello, my son, David. So good to see you on your 61st birthday.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you were born. I remember it well.
Really? Can you drop a memory of, like, your day in the hospital or two of squeezing? No. That bad, huh?
Yes, I do not want to go
you don't want to go through
again.
Well, fair enough. That's true. By the way, how old are you? You're 82? Or Mazel?
I will, yes.
And you have a birthday coming in June.
Exactly.
Cool.
So I was very young when I had you.
Yeah.
So which was a good thing. So we grew up together, basically.
And Emmanuel, you're 21 years. I just looked at my birth certificate. You were 21.
Yeah.
And Dad was 26.
Yes. He was 25 years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should rest in peace. I'm sure he's wishing you a very happy birthday. He loved you such a much. Me too.
Well, yeah, I love you too, Mom.
Thank you.
So what's a memory of me that you can share? I mean, it doesn't have to be when I could have been like last year or something, huh?
Last year.
If you don't want to go back that far, you know.
No, I just remember how bright and smart you were.
Were. Yeah.
And you were amazing, and you were a fighter. You survived.
Oh, we were talking about this before, that I was incubated for like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I came out, you did a full 9 months on me. I didn't come out early. I wasn't premature.
You were good.
But I sort of, failed to thrive? Was that the phrase?
Thrive. You had a hair lip and a cleft palate. And
yes.
A lot of allergies until they figured out what you could survive on. And it took a while. But you didn't give up. We didn't give up. And you're here. And I want to wish you the very, very best. I love you. And God willing, I'll see you on your 62nd birthday.
God willing. That's right. Likewise and likewise. And your 83rd birthday, God willing.
Exactly.
So that is my mom, Brenda Lefkowitz.
Bye-bye.
And that was recorded not quite a week ago when I was in town. Well, let me stop share so that I can come back to there. And yeah, so I want to thank Mom so much for co-creating me. There was some R&D there. There were some mistakes along the way, but they did some tinkering, and I came out reasonably okay. I don't know if I was a Thursday child or if I was like a Friday morning. No, God was looking down and he's like, I wish the week were over already. Well, I'll throw him out. I'll make him short. I'll give him a hair lip. I'll give him big bunions. What else should I do for him? I'll make him go deaf when he's 50 something. Yeah, and then God kind of left me alone. And he gave me a pretty decent life and a wonderful wife and really nice family. So, it balances out. It does indeed. Let me see if there's any more happy birthday wishes on Facebook from kind people who are saying hi on my 61st birthday, which, by the way, I'm about 15 minutes from the big number. Thank you to Lisa G. Oh, and to David Kenny, who has for many, many years hosted a cabaret theater music show on WBAI radio in New York called Everything Old is New Again. So, based on the Peter Allen song. So thank you so much, friend of the Daverhood, David Kenny. And thank you so much to Patricia, and thank you to Anthony. I know I did stop. I promised I would stop. I did stop, and now I'm starting again. Because I can't help myself. Who else? What are we going to have here? One more, and then I will do something else. To Bart, or from Bart, Dave, wishing you a super birthday. And then from Pam, or Pam BR, thank you very, very much. Again, if I haven't mentioned your name, or even if later on today, because I'm going to be running around and doing other stuff, if I don't give you a thumbs up or a like, or if you sent me an email and you don't see my response, please understand that I'm trying to read everything, and I appreciate every message, every bit of kudos that comes in for my birthday. Thank you to Luke, and thank you to Peter. Okay. And Luke gave me, they have boy guys who are handling this, which is even more sort of autoerotic if you think about it. But thank you to Luke for sending that one. And who else? Come on, two more. From Gary and from Devin. Lovely Devin. She was a professor at that university I was at Colorado. She ended up going to a bigger and better university there, but, and she is a poet. So I think she had a book of poems published. I should get her on the show. Well, yeah. All these people, you see them, it's like, yeah. And then it's like, wait, why haven't I had them on the show? She's a published poet, for gosh sakes. So, Devin, if you're watching this, contact me. Let's get you on the program soon. Who else? And Buffy, what a great name. There's actually someone in my feed named Buffy, and also from a Beth. Okay. So let me tell you a bit more. I was making notes on my trip to New York because it's this weird thing, because I wanted to share things that happen, but just because something happens doesn't necessarily make it funny or interesting. That's the balance. It's sort of like, here was my day, and it's kind of interesting to me when it's happening to me, but then if I say it, it's like, yeah. So for example, here's my notes. Like a note was that I was back on the Long Island Railroad a couple of times. I can't really complain too much about it. I was saying before, when I lived in New York, when I was commuting, it's like, oh, the Long Island Railroad, oh, it's 10 minutes late this time. Oh, they were going to change to Jamaica, and now we're standing in Jamaica for a half an hour, and there's a crowd, it sucks. But if you're just using it once in a while, and you realize that you have to get from, southern Long Island into the heart of the world, Manhattan, and you can in 45 minutes, and you're not not driving into congestion New York traffic, and you don't need to hire a rickshaw, and you don't have to pay $200 for some sort of Uber thing. Right, even if you're now paying $10 off peak to go in, once in a while, it's all right. You sit down. If it's not too crowded, people leave you alone. There was one kid. I remember I got on one train, and some women were kind of loud and yappy, so I just moved. It wasn't a crowded car, got away from them. And then on another train going, I heard somebody singing. I was like, oh no, come on! It's going to be one of these people with like back in the day, a radio or a boombox, or he's got the headphones on and he's singing to whatever he's singing to, and it's like, do I want to move? I mean, the conductor's already got me. Do I this? And I didn't, but I turned around to sort of see what kind of person was doing this. And it was a special person. It was like this kid who was just like smiling at me, probably about 15 years old. Like, and you could tell he was on the spectrum and then jumped all the way off it. So I was like, okay, you can hum and sing a little bit. He wasn't obnoxious about it. But that's my story of the LIR. And I've got to tell you, as someone who took the subways since my college years, right? Since I started going to NYU in 1981. And back then dealing with the tokens, right? Remember the tokens? And they had, some of them even had cutouts of the Y in the middle for NYC, and you could see through. And you put them at the turnstiles that seemed to be made out of giant slabs of monument concrete. You literally, you could hurt your chest going through these giant turnstiles. And now we kind of miss them in a way. And well, you could vault over them, and it didn't stop people from, not paying the fare. And then they traded them for the Metro card, which was supposedly easier and really wasn't. Because, the Metro card, you'd be like, swipe, please swipe again, swipe, please swipe again this turnstile. You're like, swipe. It's my whole story of getting slugged by an employee from the MTA, from the subways, had to do with my getting frustrated over a card that would not swipe. And the cards, of course, unlike tokens, which when they were there, they were forever. You could buy a token in 1962 and use that token in 1978. It didn't matter, it was a token. You bought it, you paid for it, you put it in the slot, and you got onto the subway. Metro card, oh no. Now it's sort of like, whoop, you load some money on it, and then you don't use it for a few weeks, and suddenly it's like, no, sorry, we're keeping your money. You're paying for it, but it's worth nothing now because it expired. It's like a free coupon now in the newspapers. You get 20% off, and you cut it, and if you don't use it in time, but the coupons are free. This Metro card is like no good to anyone. I have 3 Metro cards in my drawer back in New York, and I can't use them because they expired, and it's got however many unused rides on them, or the money for them. So it's an irritant. It's a nuisance. It's an annoyance. But all right, you have the Metro card, you swipe. Usually it does work. But this time, and I know we hear all these horror stories about the subway, and I know New York has this, especially over the past 2-3 years, this reputation of being so awful and dangerous and stabbing and this on the subway, the guy killing somebody on the subway and having a reason to kill somebody on the subway. But the one thing that they have done is you can take your telephone, right? And this is probably nothing to you, or people from New York are like, yeah, duh. No, you can take your telephone and go to the MTA app, and you pull the phone and you hold your phone up, and it goes boop, and the turnstile opens, and you go through. No card, no swipe, no slot where a slug can get stuck or anything like that. Just like boop, boop, just like a credit card, and you're in. I'm sure there are problems with it. And I know they've just spent however many millions of dollars making jagged subway entrances to cut down on people not paying their fare. But I've got to say, it is kind of nice that you can take your phone and go, whoop. I wonder what people with flip phones do, or pre-phone, or what they're going to do as they phase everything out. I do have to say, the railroad, I'm of mixed feelings about this, because the railroad too, you get the app from the Metropolitan Transit Authority, and you load it up, you buy your ticket in advance, you're supposed to buy it in advance, and then activate it before you get on the train, or just when you're getting on the train. And I do wonder, like, what do people who have low battery on their phone do, or suddenly having phone trouble, or to reboot their phone, and they're having all these issues? Because I know, and it's always this awful thing when you're waiting for the conductor to come by, because if I'm on the train, I'm probably flipping through my phone if I'm not reading a book. And then it's like, I know I bought the ticket, I know I've activated it, but now I just don't want to sit there doing nothing with the activated ticket, waiting for the conductor to come by, right? So it's sort of, okay, I think I'll do Wordle. Oh, I'm gonna look at whatever will load up on, if I have not Wi-Fi, but whatever I can do on my phone at that point. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that, or maybe looking at texts, etc., and so forth. And then the conductor is there, coming down the car, and it's not a very crowded car. And suddenly he's like, "Where's my app?" And I was like, "Pull, where? No, I don't want this. No, I don't want this. Not my Gmail." And now you get to finally the app, And you go, this, because of course it's not the ticket itself. You go, no, this is just the app. I need the ticket I bought. And meanwhile, the conductors must be going through this and being so like, oh, because if it happens to me, it happens to everybody. It's like, yes, I bought the ticket. Oh, it's here. It's app. I had it. It was on my phone. Just went to sleep. Come on. Can you come back? Right. And if that happens to 10 or 15 passengers on every train, I can just see the conductors being like, this was supposed to make our lives easier. Because all they do now is look at it. They don't scan it. They don't do it. You just show them that you've activated the ticket on your phone. And the suck part is, of course, that it's just like the cards and the LIRR tickets, the Metro cards. If you don't use the ticket, once you've activated it, you're screwed. You activated the ticket, it's good for like an hour and a half that day. And then it's gone, man. It's sort of like you want to activate it before you get on the train so that you're safe, it's good, it's whatever. But then who knows what can happen? The train stops you or whatever reason. You don't want to activate it too early because then you lose the ticket. I don't know if there's a way to delay activation or cancel it and re-up it. They probably don't do that, because the conductors are just coming through the car glancing at your phone. So you can't just say, ooh, all right, I'll deactivate. I'll use it again. They don't want you to do that. So there's positives and negatives about all of this. But it is kind of nice that you have the option. If you, let's say you can't, you don't have the time to get a hard copy ticket that you used to, of course, need for the Long Island Railroad. And you're running around, this, or your ticket turns out to be expired from a month ago, and then you get on the train, they hit you with like a $5 step-up fare if you have to buy the ticket on the train. Now it's sort of like app, boop, boop, here. Yeah, I just bought it. I just bought it 2 minutes ago. Ha-ha! On the train, I loaded it on. On the train, I activated it. No step-up fare, please. Just the regular fare. Thank you. Thank you very much. Although I do think they took away the little discount you used to get when you booked a round trip instead of one-ways. It doesn't pay anymore. You might as well just buy 2 one-way tickets and use them as needed, because the round trip, well, yeah, because once you activate. Anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, here on this January 23rd, 2025. I am the producer and host of this program, which is in our 975th iteration, live on this Thursday evening. We're usually live on Saturday mornings. It is 5:47 p.m. That means we are less than 2 minutes now from 5:49 p.m., which is when I was born 61 years ago, on January 23rd, 1969. So in order to celebrate, first of all, I'm going to get a noisy celebration thing. I'm also going to get our potato dressed as a frog nightlight. Let's turn this on for some joy. Is it on? Hey, how come it's not on? Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, this is a special kind of birthday joy right here. And for this birthday celebration of my 61st year on the planet, a birthday Bunion Watch, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. This was born with me 61 years ago, and well, minus 1 minute because it's only 5:48. But look at it. This is Dave's 61-year-old bunion on my foot. It hasn't grown any bigger or smaller. It's already pretty darn big. As you can see, on my right foot, the size, the condition of my bunion, the lighting is a little strong. Let me see if I can block out the lighting a little bit with my sock. How beautiful is that? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I know, I hear you at home. What about your left foot, Dave? Here's my left foot, ladies and gentlemen. Dave's left foot bunion on this birthday Bunion Watch. It is 5:49 in the evening on this Thursday, happy, happy birthday to me. Happy, happy birthday to me. And thank you again for all the birthday wishes that are coming through on Facebook and by mail and from my family and from my friends. I really, really do appreciate it. I'm 61. Now I consider myself officially 61 years old at this very moment. And I don't think I look a day over 60. I really don't think I do. I think I'm, look, I got the eye bags, which runs in my family and in my species and my race and ethnicity. Just, I got pretty good coloration, decent beard. Not like my cousin Adam's beard, that thing he's rocking. But I think, all things considered, for a bald old Jewish guy with cleft palate and hair lip, not too shabby looking at my age. I notice I have this weird, eyebrow thing. If I go like this, look at that. Look at the creases in my eyebrow now. Look at it running down like that. How strange. This one has a darker eyebrow, so it's harder to see. Yes, these are the things we notice when we head towards senescence, senility, and death. Well, what are we going to do in terms of the rest of this special program? Let me see if I have other people who are giving me birthday love, because now it's now 5:50. We passed the big minute. I'm 61. Whoop-de-doop-de. It's now 2 minutes after. It's 5:51. The special moment is over. So thank you to Beth. Oh, I think I said her. Thank you. Oh, yes. Birthday greetings from beloved Vicky Quaddy. Vicky, of course, has been on our show many, many times. She's the co-creator of Late Night Catechism and a writer and performer of Christmas Bingo, Bible Bingo, and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun out there in Chicago. Vicky says, happy, happy birthday, Dave. Hope you have a terrific day. Thank you very, very much, Vicky. And thank you to Sandy. And let's see who else. I think I'll go and do some of the, let me do the Inside Broadway stuff. I'll review a couple of shows on because I've spent so many years of my life identifying as a playwright and as a theater critic and a theater journalist that it does make sense on my birthday, especially since I've been heading back to New York a little bit more to do some of that. So we'll do that in a moment or two. Thank you to Arlene. Thank you to my cousin Cynthia, friend of the Daverhood, Cynthia Schub, giving me a big happy birthday. This I don't know what it is. Is it a Horn of Plenty thing? I don't know what the hell they call that thing. Like a birthday surprise Horn of Plenty shooter thing. Thank you to Lorraine. Oh my God, speaking of this program, friend of the Daverhood, Joey Alcaris, wished me a very, very happy birthday. Now, Joey was one of the first people, actually the first person I met when we put this show together on terrestrial radio back in 2002. When I was planning to do a show, when I didn't know, I barely even knew what the name of the show was. It was going to be called These Foolish Things until my wife thought of Dave's Gone By. And I knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to just have an hour to do the program I wanted to do. And then I knew I could get on WGBB radio, in Long Island. At that point, it was in Merrick, Long Island. They hadn't moved to Babylon. And then they moved back to Merrick once I left. But Joey was the programming director. She was the station manager of the station at that point. Really nice lady and very accommodating and helpful in terms of getting me on the air, making me feel comfortable, trying to make me happy because I was paying for the first part of my tenure there. So thank you to Joanne. It was great to have her on the program as a guest many years later, recounting some of her memories of me coming in with my wife and all the madness of the early months of the show. Thank you to Lisa D. and to Stuart O. Thank you very, very much for your birthday wishes. Let me see. Did I like that one? I did indeed. And let's see two more before we get to Inside Broadway. Come on. Let me get my iTunes up as well. Oh, thank you to Christina out there. I believe she's in Oklahoma, a long, long time friend. And then Kenny, who is, I don't know Kenny, I don't think. Come on, I'm trying to do a like button there, but it's not letting me. Let me do a like, for goodness sakes. Well, it's not. I don't know why it isn't. Here we go. And again, thank you so much to Kenny, who's got a very happy glasses, bald guy. This is the closest to me, obviously. This guy, unlike the woman with a horn of plenty or the metrosexual guy with a horn of plenty, this is essentially, if Moby had sex with a bowling ball, and kind of looked like me, that would be a little bit closer. So thank you also to Christina and to Kenny and to, who else? To Lynn L. and to Patty T. Oh, hello. Patty T sent me her. Okay, now we're talking. Now we got it going on. Yes, indeed. My birthday's getting happier by the moment. Oh, no. Oh, and to Brian. Brian was a writer he was actually the theater critic at the Greeley Tribune. And I always envied him because I wanted to be the theater critic for the Greeley Tribune. So yay to Brian. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And thank you to Ira Lee for wishes as well. Okay, I can end up doing that for the whole rest of the show. I probably will. But let's talk theater for just a little bit, because one of the things I like to do on the show, and have been for many, many years, is talk about the theater and review, since I am a theater critic, review the shows that I've seen. So I did, as I mentioned, I went to Broadway. I saw some Broadway and one or two off-Broadway shows. Where's my search box? Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. And that's why I have a segment that I like to call Inside Broadway. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't heard that theme in quite a long time because I haven't been reviewing that many shows, haven't been to New York. But now I have. So let's start off Broadway with a show. It's one of those shows that was supposed to run for about 2-3 weeks, almost like a showcase, maybe a month or so, of a small show, a low budget show called Cellino v. Barnes, Cellino versus Barnes, which is being done at the Asylum Theater. Always exciting for me that this is a theater I never heard of, right? I mean, I used to go to the theater 150, 200 times a year. This is a recently constructed place. So the front of it is kind of like a bar and a little bit of a waiting place. And then you go into this very nice black boxy type theater, which has got, you figure you go in and it's going to be this little place. It's got about 150 seats in it. And it's very comfortable, very cozy, and a fun place to see a show. The audience feels very Hamish in this space, which feels smaller in a good way than 150 people. And it was packed the night I went for this show called Cellino versus Barnes. And it's based on real actual characters. The idea was that these two lawyers, Cellino and Barnes, were, just run-of-the-mill ambulance chaser type lawyers. And one of them, the idea man, got the brilliant idea, this is going back to the early 1990s, of, well, why not advertise? Do lawyers advertise? Why not advertise our services in kind of a cool, a way that will bring people in? And even if other lawyers make fun of us, even if people go, oh, that's bad taste, to sort of, have you been injured in an accident? Call, we'll do it. And they did it in real life, and it became, as we would say now, viral. The idea, putting their faces and the name of the law firm on buses, on subway advertising, on TV, on radio. Suddenly, they were the first lawyers to advertise. They were certainly not the last. Because, someone would get hit, someone would slip, something would happen. They would think, well, ordinary person, wait a minute, I can make a phone call. And what's the number? Oh, yeah, 888-888-8888. It's like 1-800-888-8888. It's easily remembered. And you would be amazed, or maybe not, how many people did, right? How many people were in that situation, like, I don't know who to call, but I want to call somebody. Maybe a lawyer can help me. Call Cellino and Barnes. If you're going to win. And it became, as I said, multi-million-dollar idea. Company from this idea. Well, it's a good story just to begin with. A typical corporate, one great idea, you make a mint. The fellas who created Cellino and Barnes, and unfortunately I did not, of all the things I wrote down, I didn't write their names. I don't have they don't give you a full playbill there. There's just like a little handout. But their thing was, let's fancify this. I don't know if that's a word. Let's make it ridiculous and absurdist. We'll kind of tell the story, but we'll exaggerate to the nth degree, and we'll make it zany and farcical and more than even borderline ridiculous, right? We're gonna just take this to the nth degree to be comical of these two fellas who, didn't know each other. They combined together to create this law firm. And then as, we need drama, they fight, they pull apart, they have problems, they have issues, they have personality conflicts. And do they get back together? Do they whatever? There's your play. And there's your play in an absurdist way, again, based on the real thing. This is a highly enjoyable show. And it shows these two different types. So you've got Cellino, who is the son of a very well-respected and very wealthy and top kind of lawyer in a plush law firm. So he's not the best lawyer, and he's not making any money for his father's firm, but he's not really going to be fired because Papa runs the firm. But, he's got charm, he's got great ideas, great energy, he's put together, decent looking. He thinks big, but sometimes foolishly and rashly. Well, he gets together with this other man who comes in for a job interview. And he's this other lawyer who is really cringy and like a little cowardly toady. And I'll do anything, right? Even though he's quite smart, on top of his class, and loves the work, loves doing the researching and the working and the typing and the filing and the phone. He wants to do all that, which is the stuff that Cellino wants no part of. He just wants his name on the law firm, looking good and so forth. So they actually make a very viable team because they each combine each other's strengths and weaknesses, right? They have massive success, they have a rough patch, a semi-divorce, and then kind of an absurdist, happy, semi-happy-ish ending. Overall, it's absurd, it's wild. It reminded me in some ways, if you know Full Moon and Old Hats, the shows that Bill Irwin and David Shiner did, add words, and it's kind of like this. It's very physical, very nutty, and it's at 80 minutes. It almost overstays its welcome, but not quite. We kind of get a little bit. It's like a little much of a muchness, but this isn't a show that has an intermission or takes an hour and a half, or like 2 hours to wrap up. They kind of really zoom and zip through it. And the audience at this theater is into it all the way. Remember, it was supposed to run only a couple of weeks. They keep extending it, and now it's playing until mid or the end of March. And I do recommend it. As a matter of fact, the curtain speeches are the funniest part of a pretty funny show all the way through. There's this great line. Close your ears if you don't want to hear. But the guy playing Barnes, who is the nerdy, toady, quote-unquote not-so-good-looking fella. He's got this bald wig on through the show. And he says, look, we want to give the audience, a lucky audience member, a prize. We have the prize right here. But we don't really have a budget for the show. If we had a budget, would I be wearing this horrible wig? And you can literally see the joke. It's a terrible bald wig. It's so obviously fake. But the fact that they can acknowledge that and then move forward is a lot of fun. They make lemons into a very sweet and tart lemonade. And the best scene of the show, which has a couple of very good scenes, there's a segue of the commercials that these guys are making. And it's not on video, they do it live. These two fellas, when they're trying to build up their firm. And it's this wonderful time sequence segue where their early commercials are, hey, we're working class, you're working class, but we will fight for you. We don't have a lot. We're not spending money on this. We don't have fancy suites, and we're just a couple of guys who are good lawyers, and we're going to. Then, as they become more and more famous, they literally have to try to change their whole ethos. And it's suddenly like, yeah, look at what I'm wearing, a $20,000 Rolex. Why? Because we fight and win. Yeah, we were working class. Now we're rich, and we've become rich fighting for you. It's very funny. It's very well done. So recommending it is at the Asylum Theater on East 24th Street in Manhattan. It's called Cellino versus Barnes. And I think you're going to have a very good time with it. Now, speaking of having a real good time, I want to also highly recommend the revival, seemingly the umpteenth revival, of the utterly classic Broadway musical, Gypsy. Yes, they brought Gypsy back to Broadway because, you know what, they get an actress who's a big enough star to bring in the crowds, and she's good enough to do it. They kind of want to do every actress of a certain age and talent and scope wants to do Gypsy. So Bernadette Peters did it a few years back, and she put her own sort of gentler spin on things and made her kind of sweet and lovable. But of course, she's Bernadette, so she could still sing, and she still had moxie. Patti LuPone did it in what is still probably my favorite Gypsy, because it was the best trio, I think, of the ones I've seen. It was Patti LuPone, Boyd Gaines, and Laura Benanti as Louise. And they were just so wonderful and affecting in that particular iteration. And of course, Patti LuPone sings like Patti. And when Patti LuPone takes the stage, Patti freaking LuPone. And who else was? I saw Tyne Daly do it, and I don't consider her the singer that these other people are. And Mama Rose maybe isn't supposed to be. Mama Rose is a stage mother who had some talent, but never got her big break, maybe because she never did really have enough talent. She had more guts and brio and bravado than actual talent. So it worked when Tyne Daly was doing it, because she's not the most overlooked. How could they not see how talented she was? It was more like a woman with delusions. But still, Tyne was fine, but it wasn't that galvanizing an experience of Gypsy. As you've seen, I've seen my Gypsies. I saw the Bette Midler version on TV. Now we've got the Audra Gypsy. 6-time Tony winner Audra McDonald is playing Mama Rose in Stephen Sondheim, Arthur Lawrence's, Julie Stein's classic musical Gypsy. It's all about Rose and her 2 children, and she wants to make them, well, she wants to make one of them a vaudeville and ultimately a Broadway star, and that's going to be Baby Louise. So she takes Louise and her other sister, Baby June. Baby June. She takes Baby June and her other sister Louise around the circuit, trying to get them gigs. But the problem is, A, vaudeville's dying at that point. I mean, the movies have come in, Broadway is growing into Broadway, so vaudeville going downhill, burlesque sort of coming up, but that's coming downhill too. And yet they have an act, and the act isn't very good. It's intentionally, deliberately twee and a little cringy. I mean, Sondheim and Lawrence and Stein made it that way. So the odds are kind of stacked against them, but luckily for Mama Rose, she runs into this fella named Herbie, who used to book acts for the vaudeville. He falls instantly in love with her and will do anything for her and the kids. And that means, in terms of Rose, pleasing her and getting the act booked, which he does. And they start ascending. And they start getting good bookings, even with their lousy act. But then things come to a head. I'm not going to give away the whole plot. And if you want to know the whole plot of Gypsy, put on the Ethel Merman cast album. But they, get to a certain, and Mama Rose, with her personality, with her Butinsky-ness, and her, what she considers her always looking after her perfect darling daughters, while not realizing that she's really doing this because she wishes she were the vaudeville star. She rubs people the wrong way one too many times, and then it's just down and down and down until they get to the lowest rung of burlesque, a strip show, where you would figure Rose would be like, okay, enough. You know what, Herbie? I'm going to give all this up. We tried our best. I'm going to marry you and we'll settle down. And Herbie's over the moon. But then, I'm not going to give away more of the second act. Just to say, Mama Rose can't help but be what she is, moment to moment to moment. So, the Audra, Mama Rose, it's a great performance. People are going to say, well, okay, she's going to win the Tony because Audra McDonald always wins the Tony because she's Audra and she's a great singer. And let me tell you something. Maybe one or two of her other performances, she got overpraised for being Audra, not this one. She is tremendous. David Sheward, I read his review of the Gypsy. You can read it on Total Theater, and he talked about it on the program. She is galvanic. Of course she can sing. Of course she does the big numbers. But she has this great through line that she does of this character. And it's this thing of she knows when to turn on the charm. It may be very, very calculated, but we buy into it. She knows that to keep people on her side, she can be brash, brazen, incredibly stubborn, selfish, and all these things. But when she's lovable, it's so great it's not even an act, this character. We know why Herbie is entranced by her. We know why other people want to stay with her and do things for her and with her, because when she is fun, there's no other more fun human being in the world than Mama Rose, played by Audra. And then, in the second act, Mama has her meltdown, because essentially she loses everything, almost all at once. She loses one daughter, not to death or anything like that, but she loses one daughter from her life, and then, she loses the closeness with her other daughter that she never had until she started to bond with her when the first daughter took a hike. She also loses the man she was going to marry, the man who loved her, and she loved him in her way, right? And she loses the dream of vaudeville. She loses the stardom for her daughters, both of them, and herself. Everything is over. And this causes her essentially to crash. She has if not a nervous breakdown, a real complete, utter meltdown. And that's Rose's Turn, one of the great 11 o'clock numbers in all of theater. And, gotta give it to Audra McDonald on this, because she comes on in the show as Mama Rose would. She's at 100% the whole show. And you would figure, well, that's it. The problem when you start as an actor at 100%, you got no place to go, right? You're already here, and the audience is going to get a little, tired of you. And once you need to crank up the volume even more, there's nothing left, because you've been at 100. Now, Audra finds 110. When she has to do Mama Rose's Turn, and do the breakdown, it is jaw-dropping, tear-inducing. She just, you figure, how can she, through the roof, tears the roof off the place, like nothing I've seen really since Jagged Little Pill, when the actress playing the best friend sang You Ought to Know, and just tore the place down. But there it was done with, also a great song and a great performance, but a lot of volume, a lot of noise from the orchestra. It was just here, one of the great things about this Gypsy is it's not blasting into our ears. It's not over-mic'd. The band is not, or the orchestra is not ridiculously loud. When you hear a song, or when Audra gets big, it's big emotionally. It's big because she has a big voice and a big personality, right? So we're not blasting her. She is blasting us with the force of her presence and her talent, not, hey, let's make the amplifiers, let's ride the gain on this so we have a big boom. Yeah, and I'm very, very glad to mention that about this. What else can I say about this particular Gypsy? It's the performance is magnificent, sad, and scary. What else? Louise also has this very clear through line, probably more clear than I've seen that character be, in the sense of she thinks the act is great. She thinks her mom is wonderful. She dislikes Herbie. Why does she dislike Herbie? Because she thinks Herbie is just using her and her mom and whatever to keep vaudeville going and to line his pockets because he's an agent. He gets first. It doesn't occur to her that Herbie is paying the actors out of his own pocket because nobody's making any money. It doesn't occur to her that he's only dragging them through the lower rungs of vaudeville because he loves Rose, right? And it would be his druthers to not do this one more minute and just get a nice little house in the suburbs and settle down with Rose and the kids. And when she does come to that realization, it's very moving and very powerful. When she knows that Herbie's actually been in her and her mom's corner all along, and then it's actually Mama Rose who's been the problem, right? So really, really nicely done there. And by the way, friend of the Daverhood, Danny Burston, is playing Herbie. Wonderful actor. He's when they announced that Danny Burston would be playing Herbie, it was easy to say, yep, okay, absolutely, of course Danny Burston is Herbie. Of course. And it's true. But he's more than reliable. He's really, really good. He is Herbie. He's a nice guy who has, maybe a little bit of a dark past, and it's not quite that convincing when he hears one of the backstage people at the burlesque house giving sass to the girls, and he takes them by the collar and says, I will not have you disrespecting my people. He doesn't quite have the menace that maybe some other Herbies could have. I can't imagine Boyd Gaines had that either. But other than that, he's definitely like the Herbie we expect and want to see. Gotta Get a Gimmick, not the funniest one that I've seen. Not decent crew of the three burlesque strippers who have that great comic novelty number about what gets you through burlesque. It's not talent. It's not beauty. It's just, I have a butterfly that's covering my crotch and opens back. Gotta have a gimmick. Great song. Pretty good rendition of it. And, again, if this is your first Gypsy, Where Have You Been? Then you also are going to be blown away once again by the astonishing songwriting by Julie Stein and Stephen Sondheim. I mean, song after song, one of the great songs ever, If Mama Was Married, right? And I wish I could play you, if YouTube would let me, if Facebook wouldn't block things for copyright issues, for ASCAP and BMI and whatever the hell else, I would play If Mama Was Married, because there's no better piece of lyric writing, perhaps, I mean, maybe there are, in the American theater. Just let me, I don't want to misquote them, but if I were teaching theater songwriting, I would literally piece this line by line by line. So let's see if it'll allow me to open one of these up, please. Hold on one mo. Just look at this particular stanza. Okay. Now remember, this is fairly early in the show, and they're saying, look, if Mama would only meet a nice guy, settle down and get married, we wouldn't have to make believe that we're only 8 or 9 or 10 years old when we're really 14. We wouldn't have to eat, scraps. We wouldn't be starving. We wouldn't be this. We wouldn't be that. If Mama was married. So it was like, Mama, please take our advice. We aren't the Lunts. I'm not Fanny Bryce. That's what June says. So notice this first part of the stanza is like, take our advice. We're not Lunt and Fontanne. We're not going to be high level like they are great Broadway actors. And I'm not Fanny Bryce, says Baby June, who's being groomed to be a comical novelty soubrette like Fanny Bryce was. And then they flip the script and say, Mama, we'll buy you the rice if only this once you wouldn't think twice. It could be so nice if Mama got married to stay. And now they flip to, okay, this isn't going to happen theater-wise. What about this? If you got married, we'll buy you the rice if only this once. Lyric writing like that just gets me right here. because it's so perfect. It's so beautiful. And it's Gypsy. And hey, let us not forget George C. Wolfe. You know, I've been, I grabbed, I even show it. Here's, I should have mentioned some of the other performers here. So Joy Woods is playing Louise. Danny Burstyn, I said, Audra McDonald is in there as well. Forgive me for not finding the person who's Baby June. Well, Baby June and then regular, somewhat older June, Dainty June. But here's the playbill for it. Gotta give a shout out also to George C. Wolfe, who gets both the small things and the big things right in this 3-hour shows. 3 hours, but it doesn't go over 3 hours. I mean, so much is going on. So much is packed in there. And Gypsy could easily top out a little over 3. But he keeps it going. It's not streamlined, it's not cut, and yet it doesn't feel rushed. He doesn't do like the Kenny Leon directing thing, where he'll just zip through a scene that maybe isn't all that interesting to get to the good stuff and then slow down. He's like, he takes it, he finds the beats, he finds the characterizations, he has the wonderful songs. It's, my God, it's friggin' Gypsy. And whether it's your first Gypsy or your 10th Gypsy, this is a Gypsy worth attending on Broadway at the Majestic Theater. And yes, I was lucky. This was after Audra was missing several performances. Not only Audra, there was apparently noro or COVID or something running through the company where they canceled almost a week's worth of shows during the Christmas holidays. It was like the worst time, money-losing time for a show to not be there. But she was there when I saw her, as was the rest of the cast. And boy, oh boy, 3 and 3/4. 3 3/4 stars out of 4 from me for Gypsy on Broadway at the Majestic. And that, my friends, was this iteration of Inside. I thought I had the outro. Oh well. Here's Outside Broadway. Inside Broadway, a look at theater in New York, Colorado, and beyond, brought to you by TotalTheater.com and Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Inside Broadway that was on this Dave's Gone By 975th episode of the program. We're live on this Thursday morning. This Mama Was Married page is just sucking up all my internet there. Okay. Now we're good. Inside Broadway, Dave's Gone By, number 975 on my number 61. I turned 61 years old a little over half an hour ago. And so very, very happy to be feeling all right, knock wood, to be still doing this program, knock wood, to have you writing me happy birthday wishes and greetings and emails. Let me see if I have any more. Thank you to Kareen for her birthday wishes. Happy birthday, she says. And then Dan says, happy birthday, Dave. That'd be me. I'm Dave. So thank you very much to Dan. What else? What else we got here? Coming up in the show, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, as well as we'll do a couple of our Greeley Times. And thank you to Jacinda and to Evans. Oh, speaking of theater people, Evans, a critic, and I'm sorry, I forget where he is from, but I've known him for 25, 30 years since I've been in the theater biz. So it's always good to hear from people. Come on, let's do a couple more. And then we'll get to Greeley Times, our Colorado Limerick, and maybe some friends of the Daverhood, and then we will wrap up for this evening. Gary, another theater person, Gary Springer, press agent, and from Bryn saying have a great birthday. It's been, as I've intimated, a rough time for various reasons that my wife and I are dealing with, but this has been great fun, and we're not through yet. Our 975th episode of the show. Remember that you can go to davesgoneby.com to listen to and watch so many other episodes of this show, going back to the very first one that we did at WGBB that I was talking about before. It's an audio file, right? There's no video to it, but there it is. Give it a look. Give it a listen. The first Dave's Gone By. And we don't have the second Dave's Gone By because there was a glitch and it never got taped. But we have the third, we have the fourth, the 14th, and the 24th, and the 124th, and the 924th, and almost every single other episode in between for free. And of course, the ones over the last 6 or 7 years were video. We've been doing this since I was doing this at the university radio station on Zoom and on Facebook. So yeah, tons of hours, I mean thousands now of hours of content of Dave's Gone By, because we have, 975 shows. And some of those older shows when I was on college radio playing music, they were like 4 to 6 hours long. So yeah, you could literally take half your day every day of the year and listen to a Dave's Gone By episode and not really start from one again until the year was over. By the way, thank you to Corinne, and thank you so much to David, who was thank you to myself. I don't pat myself on the back sometimes, but no, thank you to David G., who was the chair of the theater department. He's emeritus now, at the university I used to teach at. And he was kind enough to hire me to teach a playwriting class there too. So thank you very, very much to David and to Judy with 2 E's. Come on, load up there. Thank you very much. And to Dennis. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's do some criminality. Let's do some Greeley Times, because my wife and I did live in Colorado for a bunch of years. And while we were there, I would get the Greeley Tribune newspaper, courtesy of the university actually, and in the newspaper, once a week, there was a very cool column called Cop Log. And what that was the weirdest, most ridiculous, funniest phone calls that would come into the Greeley Police Department would become public record with the identifiers stripped away. And then every week they'd have this column, which was the police blotter of like someone calling for a nutty reason. Saying, hey, could you please send a policeman over? You need to send a cop, you need to see this, and the reasoning is like, okay. The wonderful thing is that the folks at the newspaper have a sense of humor, realize how ridiculous some of these are, and compile them, and we share some of the funniest ones of those with you. By the way, happy, or thank you for the birthday wishes to John R. and Lawrence L. So thank you very, very much. And now it's time for Greeley Times. All right, Greeley Times indeed, here on the Dave's Gone By show. So, these are just phone calls that came in from random Greeleyites and maybe some Evansites and even some Johnstownites complaining about something in the neighborhood that they want the police to look into. A caller on 4th Avenue said that someone put a tracker in her car that she found under the carpet. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, because that happens all the time. Because people are randomly going around following other people, putting trackers in their cars. And the best place to really put one of those things is under the carpet. By the way, thank you very much for the birthday wishes from Joe John. Oh, and from my old boss, Madeline. Thank you very, very much, Madeline. Yeah, I used to work for a women's service book back in the day. We're talking early 1990s, and she was a very nice boss back then. So, and still a very nice lady. Yay, and I think her daughter just got married. So, yay! Anywho, another phone call has come in. A caller at an unknown address was upset because someone came into her house and used her stove. She was particularly upset because she paid a lot of money for the stove. That's kind of like, and one of the things about the police blotter from these things in the cop log, and they don't go into detail. This is not Thomas Hardy or Marcel Proust writing. It's like 2 sentences, they're done. You don't get any follow-up. You don't get any detail. You just get like someone was upset. Someone used her oven. They don't tell you the condition of the oven, but she did say, it's an expensive oven. I guess the guy, if he had used her microwave, would not have been so bad. By the way, I have birthday greetings from Prudence. Don't get a lot of people named Prudence. So, dear Prudence, thank you. Thank you for coming out today and wishing me a happy birthday. And thank you to Gary for your birthday wishes. And who else? Well, I'll let that load up and give you another cop log. A caller at a convenience store on 15th Street said a man opened the front door, yelled, "Bomb!" and threw a cup of ice water into the store. Now I wonder, so this is a convenience store, did he mean balm, B-A-L-M, for like a sore muscle, and maybe he thought a little ice water would soothe them? Or did he mean, hey, I'm dropping a bomb on you all? I don't know, but probably not their customer of the year. If that was their 10,000th customer, they're probably, we'll make them 9,900. We'll wait for the next guy. Anywho, the next guy who's wishing me a happy birthday is Bobby, and also thank you to Michelle H. for her kind happy birthday wishes. Who else? Oh, another call. A caller on 30th Avenue said music at a church was very loud, and the whole neighborhood could hear it. Officers responded, and the church agreed to turn the music off. And I think the only odd thing here is that, to be fair, the church was playing Lil' Kim's How Many Licks. So you can understand why the neighborhood might be upset about something like that. How loud could, well, we don't know. Anyway, loud thank yous, by the way, to more people wishing me a very, very happy birthday. Who's next? Argot, Wait, come on. Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe that's the end of them. Oh, no. I'm sorry. There's more. There's Steve. It's just loading so slowly now. And to Dominic. Thank you very, very much. One is a happy birthday, Dave. And then we've got another person with a cupcake. A cupcake with a candle. It's like the first night of retarded Hanukkah right there. Okay. Thank you to Dominic for that. And then let's see another Greeley phone call. This is from a caller at Glenmere Park who reported a turkey with a broken leg. When asked where in the park the turkey was, the caller hung up. Okay. It's not as if the turkey could make a quick getaway at that point. Just, gobble. But nice of him to call the police. How do you tell someone where something is in a park? Come to think, oh, it's by the tree. There's a water fountain. I mean, it's a park. Not sure how you can actually pinpoint where a broken-legged turkey would be anyway. Hey, thank you very much to Suzanne for her birthday wishes. Suzanne, a press agent that I've known, my God, for 25-something years. Thank you very, very much, Suzanne. And also to Joseph O, if we're being more specific here. And then to Jim. I'm getting a phone call that I can't really take at the moment. Actually, hold on one mo. I really want to do this. Hello, Marion, it's me. The thing is, can I call you back in about 20 minutes or so? I'm kind of, or is this really urgent? Oh yeah. No, I'm literally I'm literally on the air as we speak, doing my show. Do you want to come on voice and wish me a happy birthday? Okay, hold on. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. This is a wonderful fella named Marion from Next Destination Travel. This is a guy we've been using him now for a year or two, coming back and forth to New York because Amtrak's a pain, and it's a wonderful car service that basically takes us door to door. The drivers are great. I know I'm doing an advertisement here, but it's work. I mean, these are they've been great. And this fella I'm talking to, Marion, he runs the company. And if I tell you, he's been jumping through hoops all day for me and my wife because we're trying to plan another fairly urgent New York trip. And, can't do it this, but he can't do it that. And just going back and forth with his drivers and himself and trying to figure stuff out. So thank you for that, Marion. And Marion, today happens to be my 61st birthday. So I'm on the air doing my podcast. Would you like to wish me a happy?
Yes, happy birthday. So you always tell me to call you Dave, so I'm going to make sure that I don't get that wrong. So Dave, happy birthday to you. And you and your bride have been a pleasure to work with. And Big Hearts are great experiences for small businesses, and we appreciate yours. And we also appreciate you helping us to cross the finish line every year. And we're excited about all the other trips that are to come. Thank you for your support. It means so much. And you're the type of person that we think the world should meet because we think the world of you. So we do not take for granted each opportunity that we have to provide transportation. And thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast.
Well, this is, do you mind if I mention, do you mind if I say your last name, or you rather not?
It's quite all right. Yes,
well,
sir.
he's Marion from Next Destination Travel. They're located, I guess.
I want to make a correction, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's Next Destination Transportation.
Sorry. Next Destination Transportation, located, your home office is somewhere in Baltimore?
211 East Lombard Street, Baltimore, Maryland.
211 East Lombard Street in Baltimore, Maryland. You have a website?
www.nextdestinationllc.com.
nextdestinationllc.com for all your regional travel. I mean, people don't necessarily go 200 miles to New York with these folks, but they've been wonderful about that. That's a big trip. And it's been so great having you guys to help us out and to plan that. So, Marion, I will be calling you back in a little less than half an hour to do, the stuff that we got to do. But it just so since I knew we would be home for the rest of the day, I ended up doing my birthday podcast, which I was about to cancel. So, this has worked out rather well. Thank you, man. And I will talk to you in a little bit.
Sounds great. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
You too, man. Bye-bye now. So, unexpected. And isn't he a lovely person? Isn't he just a great guy? So yeah, that was Marion from Next Destination, and very, very proud. I left him a good Yelp review, and certainly, recommending them here. Next Destination Transportation, LLC. So, our next destination is actually doing a couple more of the Greeley Times here, our Coplog items, shall we say, from the Greeley Tribune. Let's see who else called in. Oh, we've also been doing these, oh my God, David W. In fact, I'll use his full name, David Wortman, who was a classmate of mine in junior high school and high school. So thank you, David Wortman, for the birthday wishes. And thank you to Jim B., the press agent, who wished me a happy birthday as well. Really, really appreciate that. And Deb B., I don't know who that is, but she's a friend on Facebook. And to Gary, thank you to Gary for the happy birthday, Dave wishes. Now, our next call comes in. A caller at a gas station on 10th Street said a man had been in the bathroom for a while and wouldn't leave. Okay. Sometimes you can't. So, anyone who stays in a gas station bathroom probably does have a serious problem. Maybe, instead of calling the police, call an ambulance for them, because, you go to a gas station bathroom, you want to be there for a minute and a half, or maybe if you're doing the other thing, 3 minutes tops. If you're in there for 20 minutes, you're going to need a gurney to get yourself out of there. By the way, I keep saying happy birthday, but thank you for the birthday wishes from Steve G. and from Kevin N. here on Dave's Gone By. Let's do one or two more of these Greeley Times Coplog items. Where's our next one from? Let's see. This one is a caller at F Street. Yes, there's an F Street in Greeley, Colorado. He said he was walking and a man pointed his finger at him in the shape of a gun. And this, I guess, was disturbing to him because he could only point back in the shape of a sword. So it's just really not a fair finger fight, if you will. I'm trying to make these funny. I really am. By the way, thank you to Richard N. and to Mark B. for the happy birthday wishes to me. Really appreciate them. Let's do an elsewhere. I forgot about this. We got one story that isn't from Greeley at all. We do this on Greeley Times because it's sort of like we get odd, ridiculous news stories, as you know, from all over the country, all over the world. So we like to factor in one or two that are non-Greeley, but we shove them into Greeley Times. This one is courtesy of Sky News, and it's a story coming out of England from the makers of Liquid Death. Now, we were joking about this weeks ago on the show. If you haven't seen it, it's in every Walgreens, it's in every supermarket. There's a thing that we always assumed was either beer or some kind of caffeinated energy horror drink. But no, it's just a goofy thing that they had water and sparkling water. And the company just mocked it up with all these gothic, gory things and called it Liquid Death. It's literally, it's canned H2O. Basically the same thing Poland Spring is, or Dasani, right? But they call it Liquid Death. So from the makers of Liquid Death water, a brand of sparkling and spring water sold in cans like punk-ass heavy metal hard cider like beer, except it's not beer, they have a new product. Yes, they do. The Liquid Death people are branching out. Again, this is the Sky News people writing. The firm's promotional material says, quote, if you've been to a concert, you know the scariest place isn't the mosh pit. It's the bathroom. Maybe they could use this guy at the gas station. Now you can avoid having to brave that hellscape with a new pit diaper. Yeah. Now fans can, quote, relieve themselves in the safety of the mosh pit, unquote. This is real. This is real. The Liquid Death Company has teamed up with an adult incontinence brand to make a black leather adult diaper, complete with metal studs and chains. Drummer Ben Collar, who wears the diaper in a viral promotional video, wrote on Twitter, or X, quote, crotch thrusting in a leather diaper on the Chicago local news definitely wasn't on my 2024 bingo card. Life is ridiculous, unquote. Note that the company Liquid Death has an unusual range of tongue-in-cheek merchandise. Products that they make, and I checked this out on their website, they really do this. Products include misfortune cookies, which are fortune cookies with gruesome predictions inside. And I did actually get one of those homemade at a Chinese restaurant where they were angry at me for some reason. And somebody typed, you will hurt your foot. Greatest fortune ever. Also, they make, this is real, they make something called Dr. Squatch, which is a soap designed for psychopaths. In fact, their promotional video shows a guy in the shower, showering, but he's wearing a Jason-style hockey mask. Yep. And they also have, the tagline, by the way, on the Dr. Squatch psychopath soap is, just because you are a psychopath doesn't mean you have to smell like one. Makes sense to me. And they also have, and this is brilliant. Remember about 3 weeks ago, there was all this hoo-ha over a painting, over a piece of sculpted art that sold for millions of dollars, and it was a banana duct taped to a wall of a museum. The post Andy Warhol idea of art is banana duct taped to a wall. Well, the geniuses at Liquid Death, they took a can of water and they duct taped it to a wall, and it's on sale for $5.2 million, which is, by the way, significantly cheaper than the banana at the museum. So if you want to steal, I don't know if it's still on their site, if it's still for sale, but $5.2 million will get you that can of Liquid Death water taped to a wall. Worth every penny. And by the way, they also have a holiday sweater with the words Season's Bleedings and a cartoon, and it's really great, a cartoon Santa holding a sack dripping with blood while patting his reindeer's head, and except that instead of the reindeer's head on the reindeer's body, it's the decapitated human head on the deer's shoulders. This is their sweater from Liquid Death Company for the holidays. Gotta hand it to them. Do I still want to pay $2 for a can of water? No. But gotta love their marketing. Gotta love them going that extra mile, holding basically a chainsaw and a dead carcass. By the way, thank you to Carl A. for the happy birthday wish. And thank you also to Susan C. for her birthday wish. And let's do one more Greeley Times, and then we'll do our Colorado Limerick of the Damning. We'll kind of wrap things up on this episode of the show. We have one more call. A caller at a fast food restaurant on 10th Street said a woman kept walking through the drive-thru and touching all the signs. Aren't blind people allowed to eat too? I'm just saying. And by the way, I am saying thank you very much for the birthday wishes to... Who else is wishing me a happy? Come on, do it. Ooh, it's not loading. Oh, well. Well, while that's going on... Whoa. Oh, thank you very much to Peter B., who has been a radio personality, I do believe, on W... It's either BAI or... I'm pretty sure it's BAI. But he says, happy birthday, Dave, and he gave me this. This is really sweet. Because he knows, I guess, that I'm in radio, or not quite, well, this is almost television. But thank you to Peter B. for that lovely RCA TV thing. And thank you to David R. for his birthday wishes. And thank all of you for tolerating this past segment, which we like to call Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
No, he was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
It's 6:45 in the evening here in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. It is our 975th episode, my special 61st birthday episode. I am 2 minutes away now from being 61 years old, plus 1 hour. I was born at 5:49 p.m. Eastern Time in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. It is now 6:47, and I'm not in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital at the moment, but 2 minutes will pass. And while they're passing, let me thank so much to Larry R. and to James Daniel W. for their kind birthday wishes. Really, really appreciate them. What else do I need to tell you? Remember that you can read my work at davelefkowitz.org. I keep pushing davesgoneby.com for the program and all our archives. If you want to read my written work, my one-act plays, my full-length plays, my lyrics, my interviews with people, my theater journalism, my theater criticism, you'll find hundreds of articles at davelefkowitz.org. So please do check that out. And I'm also remiss in not reminding you that our archives are also at archive.org. We have a channel there, the Dave's Gone By channel. So everything that we put on the Dave's Gone By website, we also put on archive.org. So you can see it there too. So if any one of them go, archive.org was down for 6 weeks when they were hacked, you could see our stuff on our site. And then when we were having hacking and malware problems, I could send you to archive and you could see them there. By the way, you can also hear every episode that we've ever done audio only by going to castbox.fm. Castbox.fm. Oh, thank you very, very much for the birthday wishes to Peter, or from Peter Honorati. He was on our program just a couple of weeks ago. I worked with him at that women's service book I was mentioning before, where my boss was my boss. And he, of course, became a fairly well-known actor and is a very constantly working actor. So Peter Honorati, so good to hear from him. And thank you to J.S. for his kind birthday wishes too on my 61st. Well, it's about 10 minutes to 7 Eastern Time, with just a little time left in this special birthday episode of the program. But let's do the Friends of the Neighborhood, especially now that I've been saying so many kind things to people who've been saying kind things to me for my birthday. These are Friends of the Neighborhood. These are people who have been on the program over the years, and we keep tabs on them. We consider them friends. They're family. It's like, hey, what are they up to now? When they were on the program 8 years ago, they had an album out. Now they have another album out, or they're in a off-Broadway show, or doing something else. What are our friends doing? We like to do this little segment and call it Friends of the Daverhood. There we go. By the way, there's a little bit of Mozart there. Alta Lambach. And it's the Andante passage, in case you were wondering. And by the way, if you were wondering if Sherry wished me a happy birthday, she did. Thank you, Sherry. And thank you to David S. Happy birthday, Dave. Hope you have a great one. Thank you to David for that. One wish congratulations to Rochelle Ellie. She has an album out. It's called MILF, M-I-L-F, and it was recorded at a Toronto comedy club. So Rochelle was on our show, I guess about a year or so ago. She's a comedian out there in Canada, but also has done some stuff in the States. And she recorded a live album. It's available now, MILF, from Rochelle, R-A-C-H-E-L-L-E, Ellie, E-L-I-E. She's very funny. Do check it out. And congratulations to our very recent guest, John Schneider. Now, John, you can see him off Broadway through early February in the long-running show Perfect Crime. But John, a week ago, he got that very, very special honor, his portrait up in Sardi's restaurant, where all the Broadway legends have their caricatures painted there. He had his done, and it's up there at Sardi's. And because he was in Grand Hotel and he did Chicago and some other shows, and now, of course, he's off Broadway in Perfect Crime. So congratulations to John Bo Duke Schneider. Hey, thank you to Leslie B. for her birthday wishes, and to Mark C. for his birthday wishes. Really, really kind of you to send those. Want to let you, I gotta, Ben Hodges. I think I mentioned him before because he wished me a happy birthday. But I gotta wish him condolences. His father passed away in mid-December, late December there. And apparently he has a very difficult time with his family. His dad died. I didn't tell him for 3 weeks until fairly almost middle of January until they finally told him. So he was ranting about that. But hey, sorry, Ben. I'm very, very sorry that you lost your dad late last year. And the day before Christmas, too. Thank you, by the way, to Tony N. for the birthday wishes, and to Jerry P. for wishing me a most happy birthday. Now let's get back to some other friends of the neighborhood. For example, I want to let you know that Darren Lee Cole is presenting the International Fringe Fest Encore at the theater that he runs, the Soho Playhouse. So go see that now through March 2nd. Tamara Toomey. This is today. As a matter of fact, it's probably happening in an hour or so. She is directing a reading of a play called White Lies. It's a solo show starring Annie Potts. So Tamara Toomey, a friend of the neighborhood, they're obviously trying to get this show, get investors and get it produced. So the reading is tonight. Want to let you know that Julie Halston is on Broadway in our town. Oh, I don't know if that, I think it closed. I think that ended up closing last weekend. So let me, or did it change casts? Let me just check, because certain things I'm in the loop on and certain things I'm not so in the loop on. But thank you, by the way, to Gwyn for the birthday wishes and to Zach for wishing me a very happy birthday. Did our town close? Let's see. I know Jim Parsons was in it, and I fear he was leaving, but it may have ended last weekend. Well, maybe not. Let's see. It was a strictly limited engagement. Let's see what Telecharge has to say. Meanwhile, again, thank you to Zach and Gwyn. Well, I mean, it's not showing days on Telecharge, so I feel like it closed. David Sheward would be saying, "Of course it closed, David. Don't you check your things?" Yeah, it closed on January 19th. So it was this past weekend. Oh, well, gotta cross that one out. But not crossing out Aladdin, which has music by Alan Menken, our friend of the Daverhood. That is playing at the New Amsterdam Theater. And of course, off Broadway, they've revived Little Shop of Horrors. That's a very long-running revival. And Alan Menken also wrote the music for that. K.T. Sullivan holds court at the Algonquin on Tuesday nights, I believe. That's over on West 44th Street. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, they play 2 shows on Monday evenings at Birdland. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Michael Garin plays piano at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca. Evan Seplow is our friend of the Daverhood who founded and runs the wonderful New York nightlife website StageBuddy.com. My cousin mentioned Dr. Demento before. We were so proud to have Dr. Demento on the show. Dr. D was on our program, I think twice, certainly once, and he is still doing Dr. Demento shows every week on his website. You have to pay a little fee every week. But yeah, you can hear brand new Dr. Demento shows, not to mention rent the older ones going back to the 1970s just by going to drdemento.com. And we mentioned Vicky Quaddy, of course, with all the stuff she's doing at Greenhouse in Chicago. We mentioned David Sheward, that you can read his reviews at totaltheater.com and culturaldaily.com. Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake doing Two on the Aisle, a theater review show on YouTube and Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Go Mozart! Thank you, Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. And thank you, by the way, to Bill E. Bill Irvolino. He was on our program. He is a playwright and comedian. So, yay, thank you. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. And to Bob A. and to David F. and to Bud, who also is a radio guy. Bud W. So thank you very, very much. Again, we're going to be ending the show in a few minutes. So if I haven't gotten to you, because there's probably 100 of these left, and I'm thrilled, but it loads so slowly, and I'm really not able to mention you all on the air. But please understand that I'm very, very grateful for every single message, every emoji, every email, every Facebook message that I receive from you folks. Well, it is almost 7 o'clock. We've been on 3 full hours on my birthday. I passed my 1 hour mark. I'm 61 and 1 hour years old. Yeah! And I've still got the energy to do our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Now, our Colorado Limerick is because my wife and I lived in Colorado. I took it into my head for no good reason to write little poems, little limericks, 5 lines long, and dedicate one each to as many places in Colorado as I could. The challenge, of course, is to rhyme the Colorado town, with 2 other things. A limerick is AABBA, so that's, you can't just put the name of the town somewhere in the poem. It's got to be the end thing, and it's got to rhyme 2 more times. So, yeah, and I accepted that challenge for no good reason. And now 300 plus poems later, I'm not exaggerating, I have this legacy of raunchy, horrifying, shameful, disgusting short poems, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And we are going to Bowie, Colorado this evening. Bowie, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it and then read you the Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain,
Colorado, indeed, or Colorado Limerick of the Damned, going to Bowie, Colorado, but not before I thank Frank. Thank you to Frank I for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday, Dave. Have a wonderful day in your Daverhood. So this is a man who knows the show. Yeah, all right. And thank you to Michael H. and to Stephen Cole. I believe he has been on the show. And to Corey B. All of them saying happy birthday, Dave. Much, much appreciation to all of you for writing in and wishing me my birthday best. It is 7 o'clock in the evening, by the way, Eastern Time. You're watching the 975th edition of the Dave's Gone By Show, our 61st birthday jamboree, finishing up here with a Colorado limerick. Now, Bowie, Colorado, was named after not David Bowie, goes a bit before that, a mine owner, it was a mining town, Alexander Bowie. And the town was located in Delta County in kind of west central Colorado. They had a post office there. All these places basically existed to have a post office. And it was there from 1907 through 1967. And Bowie is still technically on the map. It's still kind of there. But there's nothing really to see, nothing going on there. However, it is only 5 miles north of Paonia. Huh? If you're 5 miles north of Paonia, you're doing something right. Bowie, Colorado. And by the way, speaking of doing something right, thank you to Gene F. Happy birthday, Dave. I hope that day is beyond amazing. Not just amazing, but beyond amazing. Oh, and I mentioned that a couple of Joshuas wished me a happy birthday. I did get a birthday wish from my cousin Joshua, who's, I think, been on the show. Happy birthday, cuz, says my cuz, Josh Pinkow. Thank you, Josh, and love to your family. Okay, Bowie, our Colorado limerick of the Damned. I'm dating a lady from Bowie who likes being slutty and showy. She bobs her head proudly and hums really loudly whenever she gives me a blowy. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Or, of course, feel free, please, to message me on Facebook or leave messages under the show when we have a show on Facebook. Either way, I've been saying all day, love hearing from you, love your suggestions, your thoughts, your kudos, of course. davesgoneby@aol.com. We also do have a Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. I've got the Instagram page, which is dave.lefkowitz, I believe. Pretty easy to find, though, so just look for this on Instagram. Yeah, I think that's what you need to essentially know. I do apologize that Rabbi Saul Solomon was not on the program today. He had hoped to make an appearance, but there's been issues at his shul that he can't really talk about involving sheep. we won't go there. But Rabbi Saul wished me a very, very happy and healthy birthday. And he wished me in Yiddish, which is weird because he doesn't speak Yiddish. But I thank you, Rabbi Saul. For more about him, go to shalomdammit.com. By the way, thank you to Pete D., to Bonnie Y., to Robert C., and to Nick B.J. Speaking of blowing, no, sorry, to Nick B-J, all of whom were kind enough to wish me a very, very happy birthday today when I'm turning 61 years, or have turned 61 years old. Well, yeah, it's been 3 hours. I need to call Marion from Next Destination back and set up some stuff. Facebook is not responding anymore. I've been doing so much on it. But it's so great that you guys have been responding. I thank you for tuning in on my special birthday show. I wish my wife could have joined us for a bit, but couldn't do it this time. I'm sure she'll be on the next program, which will not be this Saturday. I'm doing the show on a Thursday night, not doing another show on Saturday. But we should be back next Saturday, like first Saturday in February, whatever that is, with a brand new episode of Dave's Gone By. It will be our 976th iteration of this Dave's Gone By program. Remember that you can go to davesgoneby.com to watch all our other shows and listen to the ones that were audio only. And let's see, thank you, extra special thank you to my cousin Adam Glass, who zoomed in to talk with me for that lovely conversation. Thank you to my mom for recording a Zoom chat too. And thank you to, again, one more time, everybody who's been wishing me happy, wherever, wow, holy cow. Look at this. This is, okay. So I got, from Nick was happy birthday, Dave. Have a fantastic day. That doesn't even, I guess it is. Check this out. Oh, whoa. Weird Al Yankovic has a great birthday song. It's Happy Birthday to You. I wish I could play it. And it's very, very smart and funny. And Andrew says, Weird Al yank his crank, and I wish you a happy birthday. Make it a great one. That doesn't, I know Weird Al doesn't look like he did 20, 30 years ago, but I can't really tell if that's him. The hair is his. And by the way, thank you to Kimberly H.C. for her happy birthday wishes to me as well. So, just a couple of also shout outs. Love to, as I said, my mom for being on the show. Love to my in-laws, and get well to my mom-in-law, Rosemary, and a shout out to her husband, Larry, and to all of you watching at home, to all my cousins, to all my family, to all the people who have been in my corner and been on my side throughout my life. To anybody who wished me well or did me well, it is much appreciated. Maybe more now nostalgically than I did back when I should have done. But yeah, the people who are on your side, or even take a moment to wish me a happy, it's a little more than the people who didn't take a moment to do it. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Why am I wearing my glasses? I don't need them to see that. Maybe I kind of do. Anywho, thank you for tuning in on this January 23rd, 2025 to this Dave's Gone By show. Thank you, by the way, to Cliff Eberhardt, the folk singer, well, the pop folk singer. He's been on the program. And to Russell Mark M., who's also wishing me a happy. Yeah, and happy times to all of you. It's been a rough month, and it may, for a lot of people I know, probably going to be a pretty rough 4 years. I'm semi-hopeful, but can't ever be really hopeful in this world. I'm just trying not to be sardonic. But I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and this has been Dave's Gone By, my birthday show. Happy birthday to me, and there goes the Daverhood gone by.
Dave's gone by, days gone by, there goes the Daverhood, days gone by, there goes the Daverhood.
All right, two more. Come on. Oh, yeah, Facebook isn't even loading them anymore. Sorry. Well, no, we got one. We got Sherry Yu, a theater person that I've known for God knows how many years. And to, oh, I'm glad I waited for this one. Happy birthday, Dave. Hope your special day is filled with fun. This is from someone named Carol. And I guess this is some sort of video of Happy Birthday Baby from some Russian women. Why not? Why not? I guess I'll end with Das Vidanya.